Nathan, I'm just gonna put some photos of you.
Yep. Just like Sears.
Sears? What happened at Sears?
Sears Photography back in
Oh yeah, they
I was
did
a
have.
kid, yeah,
they
yeah.
did.
Somerset Mall had it.
Give me
My
a nice
parents all-
serious face. There
Oh,
you go.
serious?
Yeah. Like you just arrested Jessica. There you go. Cool.
He would be laughing.
He would be laughing then, he probably wouldn't be serious.
You look great. I love the tattoos too.
Thank you. Had them done down there in the cell.
No,
No, I'm kidding. They didn't charge me a thing. No, I'm
that would
kidding.
be a great story.
No.
Free work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I got you if you
They-
need a tattoo.
They offer it, but I said, nah, it's all right,
$200.
fellas. Rather not.
Their spelling's not real good. I seen one said, where's the beef? The beef was spelled wrong with the arrow pointing down. I was like,
This girl had daughter who stayed over just wrong. No, she got, oh, Jennifer, put on here. We run out of room and the arm was down.
So that guy downstairs that I met, that was your cousin?
Yeah.
You guys look kind of alike.
Yeah.
I guess it's the beard.
His is darker.
Yeah, Nick, what's with you guys all growing the beards out here now? Nichols growing the same beard.
it's a Kentucky thing. You know.
I wish I could grow a beard, but I can't. I got the baby face. Nathan, I just have you talk in the mic, please.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Ian, how long has you been in prison?
3 years.
Thank you.
Best thing that could ever happen.
It wasn't drug related though. This was, fraud. Not fraud.
Shoot off, way out of here. A lot longer.
Right, so he'd have been in prison
Maybe
too
if
a
I-
lot longer.
Found
Yeah.
on the nightclub. He and Nathan been partners.
Yeah.
So you guys gonna start a scam?
No.
He'd be my bouncer.
Oh, Ian, you already got one hitter. There it is.
Can I shut this thing?
Yes.
sir.
Oh, that's great. I love this set right here. Matt, you wanna just come over here and make sure
Yeah.
the angle's good? And then you can hit record and then we'll get rolling.
Blue Energy. Blue Energy drinks.
Yeah, if, you know, Ric Flair.
Are they good?
Oh, yeah.
I ain't never been able to find any.
Well, I'll send you some. Give us your address where you want.
Awesome.
Do you do edibles or no?
No.
Okay. I thought it gave you the Tyson
No.
one, but-
Oh, no, that's okay.
Yeah,
set it up, you were good with the headspace?
Yeah, his was good. Just mine. We'll send you a case. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be
of
nice.
course.
Yeah, I've been looking for them to try them. I ain't never seen them.
Yeah, they're starting to come. Do you guys have shop breaks over here at all or no?
Yeah. I had no idea where one's at, so.
They haven't met shop breaks, but I know they're getting into more locations. But yeah, we'll be happy to send you some
That'd be
flavors.
sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, what energy drinks do you drink now?
None.
None? Oh, so you're just gonna rate
I just
them?
wanted to try one. No, you don't gotta send a case. You can just send.
No, because once you try it, you're gonna like it.
Oh,
you know?
I
Yeah.
mean, I've tried several.
Talking shit, I just chime in.
I had put
I
it
drink
on-
pre-workouts.
Oh, you do? What kind of pre-workout?
No, that's his, and then I go on mine and the
Dessert,
will know.
I think.
Dessert?
That's
Which
something
one's
I'm
mine,
trying,
and
and
they
they
can
had
do
it
it.
at the gym.
What
Tell them
gyms do
that,
they
still,
have?
still nice.
We just got
Yeah.
one big one.
Okay, tell them that.
Miller Brothers.
Okay, I haven't heard of that. Is
Yeah,
it like a chain or?
they-
no?
No, they just opened one. They used to be called Four Brothers Gym. They used to hold a lot of competitions and stuff.
Okay.
Big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I put some of the Woo Energy things in the case to travel with when I went to the city last week. Opened it up and there was fruit flies going all over the place because they exploded.
Oh, shoot.
And then this week we had the sandbags in there because we had the other mic stands just in case you don't have a table and it's just chairs.
Yeah.
The sandbag opened up because we were filming this guy named Mr. Bass and his dog was chewing on the bag and the mic stand while we were at his apartment. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
He was the guy that did that ran New York City's biggest escort service.
Yeah.
And then brought down the governor. So that interview comes out
Oh,
Sunday.
wow. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll check that out then.
So do you like to be addressed as like Jailer Nathan, or what's your, do you have like a nickname? Or
Nate's my
Nate's
nickname.
fine? Okay,
Nate, yep.
cool. Well, Nate, welcome to Locked In. Thank you so much for having us, inviting us to your jail to do this interview, and we got to see a great program downstairs just
Yes,
now
sir.
that I'd love for you to talk about later in this interview. It's really cool when, you know, former inmates get invited back into correctional facilities and get to sit down with law enforcement to have these types of conversations.
Yeah. You want me to go a little bit over the program that we just?
I'll walk you through. We'll
Okay.
get there. Did you grow up in Kentucky?
I did.
Your entire life?
Yeah. Been here my entire life. I live about 3 minutes from here by the public library. Grew up in a neighborhood down there we called the Valley.
Yeah.
My grandparents, my great grandfather was a sheriff here in the county. My grandfather was a clerk, and growing up, you know, I was always in the political mindset of it. You know, to me, I'm not a politician. I think there is a difference in politicians and what I consider myself. You know, I took this job to try to help people because I've seen people struggling a whole lot while I worked here through the facility over the years. But yeah, that's the only reason why I tried to move forward and run for the office of jailer like I did.
So are you an elected official? or
I am,
appointed?
yeah, elected by.
Now, does that make your job more difficult, do you think, to do effectively because you're elected, or is there more pressure? What are like the differences?
There is more pressure if you let it get to you, just like any job you can let it get to you.
Yeah.
Like I told you earlier, I started in 2007. I worked here. I've been going on 16 years. 6 years as the jailer, 10 was as a deputy. When I started in 2007, a lot of my family members was in here, which was hard to deal with. As the years went on, I spoke with the jailer at the time and told him that, you know, this is what I want to get into. I want to be able to, when I seen his position, if I had that position, you know, I could help. I could do things and help them while they're inside here from when they're released. You know, and had to run for office, get reelected. I think I run against 4 other people at the time, including the previous jailer. You know,
So were you were allowed to work in here while you had family members
Yes.
incarcerated?
Yes.
So I guess that's very different than like a normal state prison or a federal prison, because
Yes,
I
sir.
don't think they would normally
Yeah.
let that happen.
And it, like I said, it's very, very hard. You know, they knew I was a deputy, and I told them, look, you know, while you're in here, yeah, you're family, but I have to do my job and treat you as an inmate. You know, I can't come back here and hang out with you just because, you know, you want to have family time, you know, or I can't bring you something special because, hey, you know, hey man, you're my cousin, you know, we always run around. Is there any way you can bring me an ink pen? I said, man, I can't do that, you know, I can't. That's just, you know.
Yeah. So growing up, did you envision that you would be here today running this facility?
No.
What was like your plan?
My goal was to be a police officer. You know, I done some security work off and on, and then there's an opening come down here, and I said, well, I'm gonna give that a try as a stepping stone. But everybody was telling me, my officer said, you know, work in the jail for a little while, you know, start learning KSRs and our KRSs and everything, and then we apply for the academy, and then, you know, it'll help you, you know. But by the time it's time to apply for academy, I was like, I don't want to do that no more. I want to try to run the facility here and try to make a, you know, difference and a change in this facility and the people here in the county.
Now that you've been in this role, do you wish that you did take the police
No.
officer route?
No, I wouldn't trade anything for this role.
And why is that?
I love it. I love it.
Now, did you go graduate high school?
I did.
So you finished high school, then you go to college for a
I
while?
did for right at 3 years. I went to Somerset Community College in computer graphics.
Oh, so very different than what you do
Yes.
now.
During high school, I was in art, I was artistic. I could draw real good. I mean, not bragging, but so I was wanting to try to go more that way. Got out of high school, went into computer graphics, did with that for a few years, and then just decided to try the law enforcement side.
You know, that's interesting. Does that creativity that you had, you know, back in your youth help you do your job here better? I feel like it can kind of give you new ideas to bring in and run the facility.
Yeah, it gives me ideas, and I don't know, a lot of people say I like to color coordinate things and keep things in order, and I don't know. Yeah, I say it does play a role somehow. I never thought about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with keeping that
Yeah.
organized and stuff. I do the same thing. I got sticky notes.
See, like,
color-coordinated.
one thing, you know, when I took over as jailer, they could just wear whatever they wanted. People could, family could drop whatever color, whatever they wanted off, and the inmates was allowed to wear it. So I said, well, I'm gonna color coordinate them. I'm gonna put county inmates in red, state inmates in blue. I'm gonna put all state inmates in a cell together, all county inmates in a cell together. That way I can tell who's who and who's where. When we got court days, I can run red to court, you know, instead of trying to run down certain people in 3 or 4 different cells. Everybody's in, you know, certain cells, and the judges got to catching on and seeing why are they in red and why are they in blue. I said, well, these are my county inmates. I said, oh, so the blue ones are your state, so they're already doing time. And I'm like, yes ma'am, that's right. So, and then that played a role in them deciding, I guess, on how to give people time. You know, somebody's up there on traffic tickets and they're wearing blue. Well, they're done years already, so we might as well just run their time anyway and have it be done with instead of trying to give them additional time to sit in jail.
Yeah, that's interesting that they were able to bring their own clothes, because so I'll get
Yes.
comments on videos that people are like, oh, people can drop off their clothes, and then other people say, no, you can't. I've never came across one where you could actually, back before you took over.
Yeah,
have your own
they could
clothes.
have any, whatever clothes dropped off.
What about like food or drinks or anything like that?
There was times that they was bringing pizzas and dropping them off. You know, deputies take it to him and it's like, oh, this is for, you know, Nathan Carter. Oh, okay, we'll take it to him. But I don't think it lasted too long.
Yeah.
Had a lot of issues.
I can imagine that. So how different has being a jailer, you know, changed since when you were, you know, working here to now running the facility yourself?
I would say previous jailers would tell me, you know, I go to them with an idea or say, hey, man, you don't need to do it this way, let's do this, but until you're in this position, you gotta do it this way. You know, I guess that's something that, well, I'm gonna get that position, and, you know, cause the ideas I had, they wouldn't implement them until, I don't know if they thought it was wrong or if they didn't agree with it, you know. So, you know, when I took over, I had several ideas to try to do different things. You know, some programs like we had today, people wanted to come in, jailers would say, I don't have the room, or I don't have a time slot. You know, churches, you know, I don't have extra time slot, you know, can't fit you in. That's one thing I wanted. I mean, shoot, there's plenty of time, you know. I mean, for one, you know, not to sound mean for the inmates or nothing, but they're not going nowhere. You know, my deputies, I mean, I can make time, or you just tell me what day works best for you, and I'll just give a time slot. You know, that's one thing I've done. I got all kinds of programs, church programs. Every day is covered up. Sometimes 2 or 3 a day. To the point now that, you know, people's wanting to come certain days. I am full. I mean, I don't have nothing. I mean, it's all packed, and I pack it. As soon as somebody decides they can't do it no more, I'll call somebody, hey, you know, I got open slot. You still want to come? You know, and I enjoy having them come in there, and ain't nothing beats looking on my cameras at home and seeing a cell full of guys or females down there standing in a church room holding hands and praying. And they won't do that in front of their buddies. But, you know, when you get them off and they're in there having church and the Lord talks to them, I mean, you see that, I see that on camera. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah,
It makes me feel good.
I think one of the biggest issues in the prison system is that there's no activities. There's no things going on. And if you jam pack the day with multiple things, I think that, you know, lowers violence, lowers a lot of
Yes, it does.
recidivism, all of that.
Because a lot of people think that the jail, you put them in there, they're locked away. I mean, I ain't gotta worry about them. You know, to me, if they come into jail, I got a chance. I got that person here. You know, been depending on how long he's here for, that I might be able to, give him a chance at working on the floor as a trustee. Alright, look, you gotta be up at 8, bed's gotta be made, you come out to work, you work the floor, this is the order, you come out, clean the bathrooms, you clean the walls, top to bottom, you clean the windows, get on schedule, let them start keeping it. People, I'm not being mean to them, I'm trying to get them used to working once they get released, And I tell them if you need, when we get released, I can got connection with the factory here in the town that they will hire them. They tell them my name as a recommendation. When they bring the application, I sign off on it, and then they do put them to work. I try to set up a schedule of some sort, try to get them used to going out to the real world and starting all over.
So when you started here, did you ever envision yourself, becoming the jailer? And at what point in your career did you decide I'm going to become the jailer, and what made that change?
Probably about my 3rd year here. Family members being in here, watching them, knowing they're struggling when they get out, and then there's nothing in here to offer to get help. There's nothing. We had church 1 night a week. It's nothing. And they didn't do everybody. They'd come in and do a couple sales and go. Some sales and some people, hey man, when's church coming back? I want to go to church. They'll be back Monday. I'll try and get you. We'll try and get you in. And that person might get out in that week's time or something. No, I didn't. About 3 years in is when I decided to. I said I can make things different in here. I just gotta give it a shot. Talked it over with my wife, and she said, "What you got to lose? If you run, you get beat. You never had it in the first place. You don't know until you try it. Give it a shot."
And you won that first time you ran?
First time I ran. Running against 4 other people, plus the jailer that's already in office.
Now, were you running against individuals that were already working in the facility?
Yeah, the jailer was already,
And what about the other individuals? Were they working in the facility?
No, none of them was. They were just other people in the county.
Wow, so was that weird when you were running against each other and you're still working under him?
Yeah, no, I left.
Oh, you left.
I left. Yeah, I left before and I told him, I said, look, it ain't nothing personal, but this is something I've been wanting to do for a few years. I'm going to step away and, I'll be running against you coming election time. He said, well, I wish you luck, man. I said, thank you. And I left and went to hospital security for the remaining, I think, 2 years and 4 or 5 months, and then filed and ran the election and was blessed and come back.
That's awesome. Once you became the jailer and became the boss, did you reflect back on your time as just an officer, as a guard, and maybe kind of think over your actions as an officer, seeing it from a different perspective now inside the jail?
Yeah, and I do that with new hires, people that's working under me, people starting out. When I started here, I might have weighed 185 pounds, and little, I was scared. And I see that with some people that I've hired over the years, and try to bring them in close a little bit, say, look, I was in your shoes when I started, back when I was 7, this is, try to teach them what to expect and say, hey, cut out for everybody.
Now you're on the pre-workout and about to be on some real
Right.
energy.
Yeah,
Now
blue
you're
energy,
on it,
I'm down to try.
Yep, we're gonna make sure you get some of that. Ric Flair's blue energy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, what was that first week like, transitioning to becoming the actual jailer?
Very busy. I think the first day in office, state police, sheriff, city police, probation patrol, vehicle law enforcement. I had a bunch of, all my friends, my cousin was chief of police at the time, all come to the jail, and we stripped it, took everything out, throw everything, all the mats away, blankets. I ordered all new because where they was allowed to have so much stuff. It was dangerous for them, inmates, and for staff to have so much. And a lot of contraband we found, somebody's just going to get hurt eventually. It took us over 8 hours. I know it was strict. We filled up 2 blue dumpsters, county garage, and kept emptying the dumpsters for us. It was a mess.
What was like the weirdest contraband item you found in your
probably show you now. After it's over,
You got some
it's
of these
probably,
people?
there's a gallon of water jug that we feed the cells, or takes the cells. The inmate had, and I'll show it to you for the week. Inmate, I don't know how he made it, but it's a shame, about that long, probably about that big around, file down to, I mean, it probably go through that blue.
And this was made out of a plastic water bottle. How did he melt it down with something?
I had no idea, he never did tell me, I had no idea how he did it.
Now, when you find something like that, what do you do?
Well, we take it to an EOR, extraordinary occurrence report, you know, we gotta send it in DLC, and, you know, of course, the person gets a write-up, and then it goes in this file, and I always keep stuff I gotta find, that way I can show it during training, or show it to new officers, or, show it to, you know, court, judges ask, you know, why you got this person in isolation, or why, for instance, the guy we found stuff on, his lawyer probably wanna know why I'm strip searching him every time he speaks with him. You know, I'm like, well, in my office, I'll show you. This is why. You know, I don't want him to take nothing like this in there when he's talking to you and stab you through the throat. I mean, I ain't doing it to be mean to the man. I'm doing it to protect you. You know, I mean, that's why, I mean, I've seen all kinds of little tattoo guns. It's amazing they can make tattoo guns out of a piece of wire and a battery from e-cig.
Now, do you guys allow cigarettes in here?
E-cigs.
Oh, you do allow e-cigs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And nicotine pouches, which is the powder nicotine.
And you saw that on commissary?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What else is on commissary that people might find unusual or unexpected?
That's probably the other than that is just foods. And they make their, and I'm guilty of going in the cell and sitting down eating with jailhouse noodles, and I'll fix it at the house. It's one of these.
How do you make it? You gotta tell us how to make it.
Trash bag, whatever noodles you decide to order, throw it in there. Pickles, throw it in there. Red Hots, throw it in there. Hot sauce, throw it in there. Banana peppers, throw it in there. Grape jelly, if you want to throw grape jelly in there, some sweetness, throw it in there. Cheetos, crush them up, throw them in there. Doritos, spicy ones, crush them up, throw them in there. Squeeze cheese, load it down. Boil some hot water in the hot pot. Yes, you know, pour it in there, they cook it all up.
How long does it sit in the bag for?
A few minutes, not long.
And then do you drain the water after?
Yeah, they drink the water.
So you drain it and then dump it in a bowl, spread it
Nope,
up?
we eat it out of the trash bag.
So if there's
I sit down with them and eat them out of the trash bag.
See, that's what's the difference between like someone in your position though, and like a warden in a federal
Yeah, they
facility.
probably wouldn't
They would never even go into a cell like that just to talk alone.
Oh, yeah. I tell my new hires, when you go in a cell, get to know everybody. Look them in the eye, talk to them one-on-one, get to know them. You know, I mean, that plays a role in knowing if they're having a bad day, if there's trouble coming up the cell, if something's gonna happen. You know, like I said, I sat down and ate with them before, you know, when I was a guard, you know, I've been in jail. I go by this cell and they knock on the window and they say, Nate. You know, they call me Nate, they don't call me Jeff. Some calls me Gerald Carter, that just sounds weird. They say, hey, we're cooking for jailhouse noodles, man, you want some? I said, how long when you start? And they said, they'll be ready in about 3 minutes. I said, I'll be back, I'm gonna get this food. And I go in there, sit down with them and
Wow.
eat good.
Now, do you guys call them by their first name or does it last?
Yeah, we call them my first name.
What's your opinion on that? Because in most facilities it is the last name.
That they call the inmates last
They
name.
call the inmates by the last name.
I don't know, I'm just used to calling everybody that comes in there by the first name.
Yeah, and something I realized here, you guys shake hands, it's very,
Yeah.
that is non-existent. in
Respect.
state, I feel like, do you feel like that's a big missing piece to, corrections, that the
Yeah,
respect's not
yeah.
there?
They should, cause some, like I said before, some people, they put them in here and they don't treat them like, I guess, human beings. I mean, they're inmates. Hey, they call them a card, lunch, throw on their tray, shut the door back, go back up there, sit down, get on the computer or their phones. I mean, it's and all my inmates down there, all my inmates, I go in there and talk to them. I mean, some people, like I tell them, I consider you my friend. If you need something, if I can help you do it, get it or whatever, I will, and they know that. They get out of here, they message me, thank me for the time they've been in here. I don't care to answer your phone call. I don't know how they get my phone number, but they do call me sometimes. I even had some come to my house and thank me. You know, I mean, I'll shake their hands and hug them just like I would you if I see you on the streets.
What type of inmates are housed here? Like, what are the charges, and do people stay here long periods of time?
No, usually, probably 5 years is the most that somebody would stay here. Other than that, they'd be probably in prison. The most serious crimes we have here is, you know, we've got you that's in here for murder. And as soon as they get sentenced out of prison, you know, calls me and we got to take them to prison. Other than that, it's just trafficking or theft, stealing, something like that, usually what people we house here.
So they could be going through a pending case for up to 5 years, like say on a murder case?
No. Usually a murder case, it takes them about a year and a half, 2 years to finally get sentenced, but they would stay here that time. And then once they're finally sentenced, the Department of Corrections would call them and have us bring them to prison.
Are you familiar with the Wade Wilson case that's going on right now? He had just got sentenced to death, but I was looking at it, and he's actually staying in a county, and now that he's sentenced to death, they'll move him at Lee County, I believe, in Florida.
Really, no.
Yeah, so I guess that's interesting. Like, if there was a high-profile case in your town, they would stay here.
Yeah.
Wow. How does that make
Unless it involves federal, now, if it involves federal, feds come and take them quick. I mean, we don't,
Do federal inmates ever stay here?
no.
Okay, because
I
I know some.
can't house federal inmates
Gotcha.
due to the size of the jail and they got a lot more different rules or something that I think they gotta be in a cell with other federal inmates. They can't be mixed in a cell, they can't be in floors, they can't, totally different, policy, I guess, than state inmates.
How many inmates do you keep here at one time?
It varies between 80 and 85 as of right now for the last 6 or 7 months. It's only 73 beds. The highest I've seen it has been 152 inside there, which is dangerous for everybody because you can imagine it's 73 beds, you got 152 inmates in there plus your staff. It's a lot of tensions are really high when it's overcrowded like that.
And what do they put like a mat on the floor?
You know, give them a mat to sleep on the floor.
That's what they would do when the shoe was overcrowded in the federal prisons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they slip in a mat right on the floor, and that's it. There's 3 of you guys in a little tiny cell.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a shoe here?
One.
And what is your opinion on the shoe and the use of it?
We've had to use it. Did we use it a lot? No. Did we use it a lot back then? Yeah. I think they're necessary because some inmates probably cannot stay in population due to either hurting somebody or hurting themselves. They have to have somewhere to put them. You know, and I believe other facilities are the same way. As for punishment, like they attack the guard or they get to fight somebody else and they go into the shoe, they stay in it, you know, ever how many, maybe 7 to 10 days, depending on the violation that they've done. But other than that, we use it, basically what we use it for is if somebody wants to talk, needs a break from the cell, which I understand it, you're in a cell with 15 people, and you need a break. I mean, they wanna go in there and be by themselves for a day or 2, and then they're ready to go back, just maybe to collect their thoughts or whatever, we use it basically for that. I don't use it, I ain't used it probably, I'm probably jinxing myself, several months for, any violations or any issues of fighting or conduct or anything like that. Everybody's behaving for the most part, I guess.
What's the staff to inmate ratio here?
80 inmates, 4 staff.
4 staff, so 4 plus you? That's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah.
I think in the feds it's like 1 to like 200 or 300.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's crazy.
Like at the camp, there was 120 inmates to 1.
Yeah. And that's usually like one person's probably in like a dorm with
Everyone.
50 people or 100 people maybe.
It's
still
tough, yeah. But it goes back to the respect thing, you know?
Yeah, and see, everybody's locked behind a door. Only way you can come out is if somebody in the control room opens it. Only people we have on floors, trustees. But yeah, it comes back down to a respect thing.
Now, how many people are locked in one cell? Is it like a pod? I've
Yeah,
been in some facilities where it's a pod.
I think we got 13 females in one pod. and they got a big day room area, and they got 4 small rooms that just got bunks in. Males, they have one huge pod that's got maybe 15 bunks in it, 15 or 16 bunks. And it's just all open.
And are the-
They're not,
Yeah.
they're not separated in these separate pods, they're bunks right out in the middle of them.
Are the living conditions okay? Like, how would you describe it to your
I mean,
members?
it's jail, but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, no windows. Yeah, you can ask them what one thing they like to have, they say window.
And what about for rec? Is there like a rec?
We do have a rec area, that's a small rec area, it's got a basketball goal, chain link fence. That's basically it. That, and then the room we was in, that's where they had the church and GED and MRT programs and all that stuff.
Now, the food situation, what's that like here?
Sucks.
So,
Being honest, I mean, it's jail food, you know, it's not like being able to go out to McDonald's or eating your mama's home cooking. I mean, if I eat it, some of them. Like real good, they got a spicy chicken sandwich that beats Wendy's, believe it or not. Some stuff's a little rough to look at, you know, but
yeah, so today's a Thursday. What's breakfast, lunch, and dinner here today?
I have to look at my menu, man, I couldn't tell you for sure. I will tell you, every other Friday, I go out to a restaurant here in town and buy supper. And like last Friday, they had Little Caesars. Next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday, they'll have a place called back porch barbecue. Little pork sandwiches, they get homemade banana pudding, they get potato salad and baked beans, and cold drink every other week. We started doing that when COVID hit, because everything was, small businesses in the county was closing down because, so I got in contact with them, started doing that every other weekend, and then just continue doing it. For one, the inmates like it, it helps having a real meal thrown in there, even though it's even up to 2 weeks. I'll tell you a funny story on that. I was doing ribeye subs for them, ribeye sub sandwiches from this local restaurant, and I got several grievances because there's too much fat on steak. So I cut the steaks out, you know.
The inmates were complaining about
Yes.
the steak.
Yeah, fellas, yeah.
Are you
Of course-
taking like orders too? Like, are you,
No, I don't
okay.
do orders. I was playing with 6 or 7 restaurants around, you know, Rock Castle County. Steak place is one of them. And they brought me grievances, I gotta answer them, you know.
Yeah.
You know, well, I won't serve you steak no more, sorry about having too much fat on your steak. So, I went to them, I said, you know, went around the sales, took a piece of paper, and I said, look, here's all the restaurants. I'm gonna continue doing this, I'm just gonna drop it down to 4 restaurants, so you all tell me by majority, vote, and what restaurants y'all wanna keep. So, Subway, we don't only have Subway, I was going to Madison County. Subway, Wendy's, Little Caesars, and Back Porch Barbecue was the ones they decided to keep. And as Wendy's, we do Baconator meals for everybody. They'll do a breakfast meal every now and then from Wendy's, but yeah, that helps break it up.
Now, there's going to be some, you know, civilians who have never had a loved one in the criminal justice system or any affiliation with it, and that are going to say, you know, why are we doing this for people that commit crimes? Because I get those comments all the time.
Yeah.
What do you say to those people?
You never give up on them people. I mean, the people that's committing crimes, I mean, yeah, they committed a crime. Are you mad at them? Well, if they stole from me, I probably am mad at them. Am I gonna help them? Yeah, I'll still help them. You know, drugs, you know, my deputies, my here too, outside there, why are you doing that for them? I mean, hell, they piece of shit. I mean, why are you helping them? Somebody's gonna help them. I ain't gonna give up on them. I mean, if they ask me, hey, can you just send me to rehab? Yeah, I'll call somebody for it. Ain't no problem. I got plenty of contacts, you know. I mean, that's why I tell a lot of people, you don't give up on them. No matter what they're, you know, there's a guy robbed my dad, stole from him, brought him to jail. I treated him just like I did everybody else. He asked me for help, I helped him.
Do you think all people are redeemable no matter what they are accused of doing or convicted of doing? Do you think in some way,
Yeah.
whether they have life in prison or there is an end in sight, they're redeemable?
Yeah, I do.
And why do you think that?
The Lord. Yeah, you turn and give your faith to Him, and He can turn everything around.
And does that help you stay neutral, I guess, when people come in with, say, a heinous crime like a sex offender, where the world hates, but you still have to do your job to protect them?
Yep.
Does that keep you neutral?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. Yeah. And I tell this, my deputies, people come in, my new hires, just like a sex offender, like I said, yeah, I don't agree with what they did. They ask me, can I help them get into rehab for, their drug addiction? And yeah, I still do. I mean, I don't look, my deputies, some of the deputies tell you, I'm not sure if all of them does this, but, when somebody's being booked in, we put their charges in, we don't look at them after that at their charges. We look at you. We look back, call you by your name, look at you for who you are. We don't go back and say, oh, see, he asked for, no, I ain't gonna help him, man, look what he's charged with. I mean, I don't train them to be like that, and I don't believe none of my staff's like that.
Now, I've encountered some inmates, like in my prison journey, that are just so hard-headed against prison officials, correctional officials, because they've had negative experiences with law enforcement and because they're in prison because they got caught by law enforcement. How do you kind of break down that barrier with them to show that, hey, I'm not the one that put you in prison, but I am the one that is here, to keep you here and work towards that?
I've done that many times, and I say, look, I ain't that old cocksucker put you in here, so you ain't gonna be yelling at me. I said, while you're here though, I'll help you get, if there's something you need, I can help you get that. If I can't do it, I'll try and get you somebody that can. That is a big thing that my deputies face. People come in and they're mad. Officer leaves, and then they turn that aggression toward the booking officer. We sit them, they're sitting down. We sit down with them, talk to them, say, look, man, there's no reason to be mad at us. Like you said, we didn't bring you in here. All we're here to do our job, look you in, keep you safe, get you a bond. Hopefully we can get you out of here. If you got questions between now and then, ask us. If we can answer them for you, we will. But until then, you're gonna have to respect us, we'll respect you.
And I think from the inmate's perspective, I think sometimes we lose sight of that person that put us in prison, like a law enforcement officer, was literally just doing their job.
Yes.
And they have a family to provide for, and they're going. And I think there's a lot of that. It's not the person that maybe snitched on you or turned you in.
But they have to blame somebody. Most of them, they don't take the blame for themselves. They want to blame you for bringing them to jail. It's your fault. It's my fault that they're, some people get mad and fuss at me. I don't know if they think taking it out on me, that thinking it's my fault that they're here. Some people, I'm sure there's somebody down there that's probably mad at me. I don't know why, but listen to phone calls, they tell lies about me and say he's keeping me in here for no reason. He called the judge. I ain't calling the judge for one, why would I call a judge and tell the judge not to bond you out? I won't do that. Never have done that. But
Now, how often do you see individuals come in and say they just got arrested, they're waiting to go through the court proceedings, haven't been sentenced yet? How many do you see actually change for the better by the time they get sentenced and they do get a lengthy prison sentence, and maybe they needed a second chance at that point and didn't need that sentence to kind of change because they already changed?
yeah, I've seen a few. I don't know how to put a percentage on it. I've probably seen less than 50 that's actually come in and changed, and 50% that's got to play out. I'd say it's come in and changed, got out, and has maybe seen some of these started their own business and still thriving today. That when I got them, people, they was worse for the worst, and they had the biggest dope charges, PFOs and everything like that. They do my time here and they go to prison, they get out and they message me, hey man, I'm out, how you doing? I just want to say thank you, hey, I'm good. And then later on, months down the road, you see that, hey man, I have them send me a picture of their checks. Hey, look here, I got paid for the first time. I'm like, great. Then they send me a picture of a car that they bought, and they send me a picture of their new business logo. Oh man, that's awesome. I said, keep doing good.
Now, in a facility like this, are inmates able to earn money in any way?
No. The Department of Corrections pays them if they're working very little, 13 cents, 50 cents, something like that. I can't remember exactly how much.
So there are job availabilities here.
If they get out to go and work for this year.
So you do run a work release program
Yes.
here. Is that a separate staff load that you have for that too?
It's county employees, they don't work under me, they work for the county. That Department of Corrections trains for them to be able to take out inmates.
Now, is your, like the person you report to, like the city council or the mayor? What's the structure of that?
The judge for the county,
Okay, so you're under the judge.
well, no, I mean, I don't, there's nobody, I ain't trying to brag or nothing, nobody above me. I mean, I work along with the judge.
Gotcha.
You know, he's judge of the county, and he's the one that signs our paycheck, signs mine too, but he lets me run the jail. And I ain't never had an issue, me and him got a great relationship, I ain't never had an issue with him on anything. I go to him, ideas, he comes to me with ideas, we talk it out, and I implement them. He is over the county employees that take my inmates out, but he lets me pick the ones that take them out, you know, you don't just send me somebody that's no good, you know, and then, we monitor them, do work site checks, and, if there's any issues, I go to him and say, look, you can't take them out no more, he cuts them out and replaces them with somebody else. But there's nobody actually above me, he can't fire me or tell me what to do, you know?
You represent the people,
Yes.
the people that elected you.
Yes, sir,
How often is the election?
4 years,
4 years, okay. Because I know in some states, I think it's 2.
yeah.
And I wonder how effective that is to keep you
It's
every
all-
2 years.
Yeah, for my position, it's every 4 years now. I think the clerk's every 8. City, the mayor's every 2, or I don't know. That's all. There's all different kinds of. I can't keep them up except for mine. That's the only one I'm worried about.
Yeah, now, does the sheriff have his own jail and facility too?
No, the sheriff's ain't over any jails.
Okay.
It's all the Kentucky elects their jailers.
So in some states, it's the sheriff
Sheriff
that's
runs
elected.
it, yeah.
Is the sheriff elected in
Yeah.
the state?
He just appointed over.
Okay.
Yeah, they just run it.
What, do you think the country will ever be streamlined like across every state, or no? Do you think it's always going to be like?
It's always going to be different.
Do you feel like that makes the criminal justice system tougher because they're just? I don't know. Like I feel like everything's different.
It is different in this county, which I don't understand this. I've seen it ever since I started here. We had the same judges that's in Pulaski County. Okay, people can do the same crime in Rockcastle County that they do in Pulaski. They get more time in Pulaski than they do in Rockcastle, and I have no idea. It's the same judges. I don't understand the difference. Why everything's different like that? Yeah, everything should be the same, in my opinion. I mean, if drug trafficking is this much time, it should be that much time all around. I would think. I don't know why it was different.
Yeah, I mean that brings up a great point too, because we were downstairs at the pre-release program you were running, and someone had mentioned that what the programs you're offering here, they don't get that same treatment in another jail.
Yeah, I think some jails just don't. I don't know which one, but I'm sure there's some that just don't let them in. There's fear of security, issues like, oh, they're gonna bring something into the jail. Can't screen all in people. I'm pretty sure a lot of jails won't let. I don't know how many people down there in that room, probably won't let 10 people in the cell. For security reasons, the only thing. And this has happened in my experience. I've had programs coming in and catch it on audio, we'll monitor phone calls, videos, like hear them say, hey, such group comes in, they'll start going to church there and ask if you can come in with the church group, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, and they set that up, and that happens. The church group comes in, they're like, we're gonna bring an extra guest. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Well, they bring that person's spouse in, So, they do set stuff like that up. That does happen, and they will find a way to run contraband in there. So we try to I try to monitor who comes in here. We try to pay attention to the phone calls daily and video, and try to make sure nothing like that is coming. I've got 3 people, including myself, that does that on a daily basis.
And you have to tell the ingenious thing you did with the shoes that you were telling us.
Oh,
earlier.
yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, well, when I started before, switch my tennis shoe, my work boots, I'd come in with inmate shoes just to try to sneak, and I would crawl sometimes down the state hallway and try to peep into cells or windows and catch them with contraband. You know. They know when I started here, I didn't have cameras. I think I had a camera on the Salligate area and nothing in the cells. Now I'll show you my layout on cameras. That's something else they implemented. And cameras are, basically don't think I might have. I'm sure I got a blind spot somewhere, but I try to put a camera everywhere. I can zoom in. I mean, it's amazing the camera footage there, the videos and stuff. The quality of it, you just have to see it. But yeah, going back, I switch my shoes, put on inmate sandals or shoes that they had, and try to sneak because you can't hear them. And I don't know how they figured out my damn feet saying when I walk. They knew when I was walking down the hallway, you know. Or like I told you too, the work police would be out working. They'd be work police getting made inside the cells. Before the other crew come in, I take him out and I get on his bunk, cover it with a blanket. Work police would come in, and guards would leave, and the guards knew I was in there. And then they'd sit down and start getting their contraband out, tobacco out, you know, and they get on the table, so I've been watching them through the blanket. They get everything on the table, I just get up out of bed and walk over and say, "Thank you, fellas." And I'm like, "Oh man, seriously?" Oh yeah. You know, and then, you know, I don't know, they always up to something, and I always try, like I said, I tell them it's like chess. You know, you all want to make a move, I got to try to make a move to capture that palm from you. You know.
Why do you think that there are facilities that don't have cameras? Like I've noticed in the feds, there's a lot of
If
blind
there's a
spots.
facility don't have a camera, you need to get cameras.
Yeah.
Because the inmates know where the blind spots are, they know where there ain't no cameras, they know what guards don't pay attention to cameras, and that's when they set up everything. And it's, they learn that over my years. I mean, they're very smart.
I feel like it almost promotes violence to not have them.
Well, yeah, but they know they can get away with it. All they gotta do is say, "No, I didn't do nothing." You ain't got no evidence of them doing anything. Ain't got no video. When you go to Commonwealth, Kentucky, and that somebody over in the South, you got video footage? No. So, what you do then?
But you do have, I guess, the guard's word against the inmates, which the guard usually wins on.
Yes and no. I mean, since I've been in jail, I had issues come up where a guard done instant reports on what happened. When I go back and watch video, I've got audio too, just not have audio. I hear and see it all. I mean, what deputy worked both his incident for and what happened. You know, I mean,
That holds officers accountable.
exactly. You know, when I put this new system in, you know, told them, you know, audio and video. And I ain't here to try to catch you doing anything wrong. I'm here to protect you and the inmates. But you have to remember, what you say reflects your actions. You can't tell somebody that you're gonna fucking kill them and then walk over and smack him. And then he wants to file assault charges on you. I take that from the judge. When you said that, you threatened him, and then you went over and smacked him. Well, you're in trouble. I mean, you can't say you didn't say it. And when you fill out your reports, now you have to put down what's actually said because you can hear word for word.
Now, on the topic of cameras, what do you think about shows like 60 Days In? And because that's mainly with county jails and facilities like this that they approach.
You know my true opinion on that?
Yeah.
I think it's set up.
You think it's set up?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's set
I
up?
think it's just, I'd watch that and I'm like, there's no way that can be happening and then people not know it. You know, it just seems like it's staged. Now, it might not be, but I've tried to watch it and it just seems fake. It don't seem legit.
Now, don't the inmates have to sign waivers?
Yes.
Do you think that's across every state?
Should, I assume it is now, I'm sure.
So they're gonna know that probably a show like 60 Days In is being filmed there. And even just like the individuals, like I had a PI on my show that used to be a correctional officer.
Yeah.
They put him in undercover in there. He only lasted a day and then, tapped out.
Yeah.
They had waved him down the
I mean,
camera.
they're making money, right? If they want them ratings, I mean, they stage.
How do you feel about that those companies use like another person's
Well, I'm just guessing play what they done. I don't know. Like if somebody they approach and want to do it here in my jail, and they they might say, you got like 12 inmates that will do this. You know, we bring them all up here in a room and they sit down and go over, hey, we're gonna do this, this, and this. You know, it's like a setup movie production.
Yeah.
That's what I figured, you know. I mean, like today, man, I told them, you know, going to talk downstairs in the class and speak with you. One of them asked me, it's like 60 days in. I'm like, no, I ain't gonna have to do nothing like that. You know. But I think it's doing the jail stuff and being in it, seeing and listening, knowing. I just think it's rehearsed, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, I kind of get that feeling too. I just don't know how realistic it actually is.
Like you said, they have to sign something to know that they.
Yeah, or maybe they signed it after and then they just.
Now
blur
they
the
could.
footage.
They could not know who the person is in there that's a snitch, but they probably know that somebody's in there because they were filming 60 days in. I mean, they're not gonna. They can't not notice a big camera film on them. You know, they ain't gonna incriminate themselves on purpose, now on accident about saying, hey, I'm gonna slash a dude's neck. You know, I mean, they're not gonna incriminate themselves.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I saw like in some shows they have the cameras, like they released that new show, maybe it was in Arkansas, I think, where they released all the inmates in the pod
Yeah.
with no security. It's on Netflix, and they let them, you know, do their own thing for it's like a trial, I think, for
Oh,
2 or
really?
3 weeks. Yeah, and they fixed the cameras in the cells, but they knew they were being recorded. It's a jail experiment.
Yeah.
Is what they were. You got to see that on
I have
Netflix.
to look that up.
Do you watch any prison shows or anything like that?
I watched Prison Break.
I just started that.
Oh,
It's so
really?
good. It is so
Yeah,
good.
that's several years old though.
All right, so great question. Is that realistic? Do you think that could happen?
Yes.
You think that could
Oh
happen?
yeah.
Right. There's that many
There's-
loopholes. Like,
Oh yeah. I guarantee it.
wow. So can you break out of any prison? Like, if you is there such thing as the perfect prison?
Oh, I'd say not. I'd say not. I've got a paper I need to let you read. It's called, I think it's called The Duck. You heard of that?
No.
The prisoner wrote it. It's how that he had set up his escape.
From here.
No, not from here, from I think not in a federal prison, I don't know where, it says it all in it, but I've got it. And I can skate to my deputies, they'll ask me, let them read it, how they can, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a maximum security prison, but how he manipulated a guard, to bring him a guard's uniform. I mean, it took months, it wasn't nothing that happened overnight, it took months. Had him bring him his own guard uniform, he put it on and walked out the front door. Walked past the captains, sergeants, everybody. They even checked him, let him out. Yeah, it's. I think any prison can be broke out of. Any jail.
Like
Not
what happened in
any.
Alabama with that the female deputy.
Yeah.
That got that killer out.
Yeah.
I guess when you always have staff, there's always a weak
Always
spot.
that weak spot. Manipulation is a dangerous tool, my friend.
Yeah. Now I'd love for you to talk about the program that we witnessed today and to share what you've implemented and specifically that program because I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, that was re-entry program that they call it. What it is, it was the first time it's ever been in El Paso County, first time it's been inside the jail itself, downstairs. When the inmate is close to being, I think, 60 days being released, all these people, as you've seen downstairs, has all these connections. They can help them get jobs, cars, clothing, food, homes, help, rehab help, whatever that they need. Stuff like that was never offered at all that I know of anywhere. I don't know if other states are doing it or not. Of course, when Lena messaged me, and I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, absolutely, yeah. Whatever we can do to give them a chance, fresh start. Because some inmates, friends, some of my friends been here says, you know, I don't know what to do. I get out tomorrow. I said, you do? I said, good. He said, no, that ain't good. He said, I ain't got no home or nowhere to go. All I got is clothes and my property. He said, I don't know what to do. Except for go back the way I, started, using drugs and making money that way. They didn't have resources back then. So that's why this program's come into the county. Everybody's on board and nobody's benefiting anything from it. I'm not benefiting things from it. I don't want to benefit things from it. My benefit would be to see you and you released from here. When I'm out eating supper with my family, I look and I see you over there eating supper with your family. That's my benefit. That's what I want to see come out of this.
What advice would you give to a parent or a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend that has someone that they love and care about going into the criminal justice system for the first time, that are worried about, you know, like the dangers or are worried about how they can support them, what advice would you give to them?
Support them, be supportive of them and give them, and my wife could tell you when I started here, give them, when they come home, give them a little breather. Let them, cause sometimes this job ain't put up for everybody. I mean, you have to deal with a lot of issues that will drain you mentally, let alone physically. When you go home, you're still wound up from your day at work, whether you had a fight, whether you had an OD that you had to save somebody's life, whether you had somebody take their life. You have to go home and give them a minute. If they need 5 minutes, 10 minutes, give them a minute, you know, just, and then be there. If they got questions or want to talk about it, you know, ask them, listen to them.
Awesome. Well, Nate, thank you so much, man, for inviting us in here and having this conversation. And you know, it's been a real honor to come in here today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad you come by. Glad to meet you.
Yeah, you too. What do you think about your first podcast ever?
That's pretty neat.
It's
I
not
don't
so
know
bad.
who energy now.
It's not so bad. We send it when you're up for a re-election. You know, put it on the bulletin
That'd be
boards or
great.
something. You know, people get an inside look at it.
That starts in a year and a half.
Okay, awesome. If you need anything, please reach out. You know, I'll come on your campaign trail.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Of course, man. Awesome, man. You killed it, man.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
awesome.
That was epic. Great
Yeah.
job. Great job.
Thank you, thank you.
You doing good. Nathan's gonna listen. Nathan's got the job as long as he wants it.
Hey, I hope so.
I told him after Nathan got done, I'm getting myself expunged. I'm coming after him.
Shoot.
Yeah, you did awesome.
You did. That was great.
That was good. Man, that pre-release went good too.
Mhm.
It's just different, the relationship that we have with the inmates here.
Yeah.
It's so much different. than
Oh,
everywhere
absolutely.
else.
Listen, like, they really know, and that's the thing. You know them by name, their families. Matt D's messaged me again.
Yeah, he's not a state inmate, so I cannot get him.
Oh,
We looked him up on comms, he did not pop up.
they're
on
just
comms.
milking him for money. Brian went to the bathroom.
Where's Matt?
I don't know, man. He bailed on us.
Why do you?
Hey, I'm gonna go get that paper I was telling you about the duck.
Okay, perfect.
That's-
Yeah, yeah.
that's
I
very
remember
interesting. Now, you still wanting to talk with the inmates?
that. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they called your name, Brian, you want to go there?
Brian, you ready for this? Brian speaks to a lot of. He can listen. He can marry you. He can, when you die, he can be your funeral.
I did that today.
Did you?
What's up, crew?
He can be your jailer. He's got Brian wears many hats.
Gotta download this footage right now.
Learned very well.
Yeah, you do. How's your youngest?
Growing, buddy. It's crazy.
Vader Snakes.
They're pretty good.
Hi guys, how you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. They make mistakes, but they're
Your little boy's he gonna be a jailer too.
good. Oh, yeah, he thinks he is.
Listen, he live with
He
him.
said, "I'm riding that car in the jail car, Dad. It's great. We're gonna turn the lights on."
Aw.
I've been getting stickers put on it. I do not want to do that, but I will for him. Believe it or not, I know that sounds great. You think of it.
Yeah. He's always been kind of, but I don't know. I mean, at first he used to be real shy.
I just tried to do it.
Now
I
that he's
ain't gonna have a choice.
I know.
It's what it is.
So you even put stickers on the car.
It's supposed to ignore.
But
That's what I told that kid. He said, "I don't know, they were driving around.
what's your little girl?
She raised the fucking hands. Something else.
Is she daddy's girl?
Oh, yeah. She woke up this morning. This is 6 something. Can I make it?
Oh.
I said, why, yeah.
They try to get out in one school too?
I don't know where the assistant went right now. But what's up, guys? We are at the correctional facility in Kentucky, filming interviews. I just filmed an interview with one of the warden jailers, filming another one from another county right now. and then we're going to be filming with an inmate. So you guys get to watch all that. We're going to be going live for the next couple hours, and you guys get to see these exclusive interviews. There's the assistant right there. Look at where you been, buddy?
Hit the bathroom, maybe I was chatting up in the bathroom.
Buddy, he's missing. Have you been hitting the comments or what?
Yeah, dude.
All right, you been responding?
Rod's in the guy that's coming Saturday was in the comments.
What do you think about that interview, Matt?
I thought it was good, dude. I think that everybody liked him. Let me see what the chat's saying. Whew, chat was booming.
Here, I'm gonna give this to Matt so I can finish downloading this footage.
I gotta fix the audio on it, dude.
Why, it
I don't know.
wasn't
Nobody could really hear it when they're on the.
No one could hear at all.
No, they could hear, but everybody had to switch to like their phone or put a speaker in. So I'm gonna try and figure that out now.
What do you think it was because the thing was blocked?
No, it's because it's a big room.
You can keep it.
Did you show the setup? I might put it on the table and slide everything over.
Just bring it right, put it right here.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right on him.
Which I've got bigger than
The good, bad, and ugly.
Bathroom chat. Let's go.
I think that is already in the title. I
We're not
think
using
you
that
could say
title,
re-
I'm just saying
I
that's
know.
the stuff we're
I
covering.
know, I think we should call it like.
Yeah, House of Killers. DM me in on Instagram. If we do come down to Texas, we'd definitely be down.
Put my AirPod in, see if they can hear me better with one in the ear.
Yeah, put it in your left ear so it's not on the camera. But they might not be able to hear him.
So you might have to. Oh no, you'd have to exit the connection. It's alright.
Can you hear anything?
No, it's alright. Don't worry.
Why it won't connect?
Because then you'll have to exit and minimize the screen. It's okay.
Oh.
I love it.
We need to do
you know?
we need to do a recovery sale, like for real, just a sale that.
Yeah, we're gonna try and do more lives. We're just
recovery,
testing everything out. So sorry for the. We tried to hit Walmart for a wireless mic, but you could blame the one in Kentucky that didn't have it.
all they do every day is like come in and do recovery stuff with their mom, but only the sale they really want.
I will see if this works a little bit better, maybe.
And, you know,
I love it.
They do that, and like,
Oh, yeah.
it's
We're
like,
all
it's
getting
kind of
into
like
it.
sad, but, cause we, you know, Saxon have a lot of rules, but we can start it.
you know,
I think you have to keep it vertical though. Matt.
It didn't matter either way. They couldn't
No,
hear.
I'm saying vertical though for.
Yeah, yeah.
Come up on YouTube Shorts. Like that's the purpose of vertical streaming. You know?
Well, I'm putting it on here. I wanted to get both of you in it, but we're gonna just do the guest now. Oh, we gotta tighten that up.
Nice people come in and they're mad. Officer leaves. They turn that aggression toward.
Sorry for the shaking. Just trying to get the camera on the mount. Got a Walmart stand, so not buying these again. I think that might be good. Hopefully the audio is better. Get into the chat here.
Do the right thing, you get all that stuff behind you.
well, they should.
Yeah, Walmart sucks.
Yeah. And they're very good. Yeah.
There's a lot of things I don't agree with, but I was never thought of it.
Yeah, we didn't have time for Amazon. We kind of came up with this idea last night at 11. But do not buy this. Do not buy this from Walmart.
That's why I love to have a recovery sale, because one of my partners,
Ian, what time do you need to be at the airport?
like 11.
The flight's at 10:30, I believe.
So you wanna be there an hour early?
Probably a little earlier because we got the bags.
Okay, so we'll,
Probably if we get there by like maybe 8:15, 8:30.
alright, so I'll pick you up, I'll find out how far the airport is and then I'll.
All right, Chad, if I sit here and talk like you, can you hear me?
We got him out.
Okay.
He-
Oh, yeah, what time you said?
How do I sound
Probably
right
end
now
up having
if
to
I
be
talk
there
like
probably
this?
about 6.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Ooh.
I
Sit in
know,
both seats,
it's a
maybe the
couple
audio
hours,
will be
I
much
think, with the
better.
airport.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll be up.
I know. I will too.
And, but doing that every day, so they're like 4 or 5 of them that's just gun ho. I mean, the ones that want it will be in there, and the ones that don't will sleep,
Yeah.
cause they're not gonna listen to it every day. They're not gonna do the worksheets, they're not gonna do the stuff.
Your big challenge is those that have communication issues.
That stay right there.
Got something maybe that friend of Brent, you know.
Well, everybody's.
Look at the cameraman.
I got one more guy reading. You know,
So a little lower.
It's funny, praise his counsel and say, we can come in, he's through. He counsel, it works, you know.
That's good. I looked a little out of focus on mine.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was
Can-
far
Do
in.
you don't have a provider, cause there's no end.
It's good now, but
Do I have one?
A provider to give them outside now.
That's a very touchy thing too. We do, yeah, they do get psychopaths, but most generally, like a company says a guy out there right now, who's a typical man, he has no idea what he takes. His ex-wife,
That's nice.
but she's the ex-wife. So he don't know names, he don't know, and it's generic.
Yeah.
It's here, so. Then he says, I need to wait out for one, that's what I feel funny, and I always did. All right, which one is it? So, the nurse did let her talk, you know, kind of through the conversation. It was a little bit.
Isn't it hard not to fall in love with something?
Oh, I do, man, they break my heart all the time. But I do, you know, those guys come in there, they say, man, I need to talk to you. I thought, oh, God,
Right.
so I was like, what's up, man? He seen my little boys in the hospital. He's got my money. So I was wondering if you prayed for me. And I said,
Testing 1, 2, 3.
pray right now. He's a ball. Crying, man. So I was trying to cheer him up. I was like, does he pray for you? He said, yeah, that's so straight. But he never asked me for nothing but prayer, you know. And you know, those pretty good because it's something here for you.
He does.
Today,
And that's
if
what I
you go to
love about
hospital,
it could be.
jail,
That's why I want to do recovery
next
cell,
to
both
the
jails,
jailhouse
Rock
where
Castle
they-
and
they
Jackson.
call it permanent.
But
I had
you Rock
anxiety
Castle
for
so
real.
little.
man.
You had cancer, did you? You had to-
Well, I gave you my card too.
Alright, awesome.
You gotta get patched that we had over
Absolutely.
there. There's a good story to read.
Awesome, Beth. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you can send, I just need one can, man, to try, but if you wanna send 2, I'll drink 2.
Yeah, so mail to this address here?
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, cool, man.
He's got cancer.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
my favorite is the eye test. I took this eye test and
I'm gonna watch Brian.
You better cheer me on.
He didn't want nothing to do with it.
Have you met Ric Flair?
And,
I haven't met Rick yet. No, I haven't met Rick.
He's like, "Man, I love to have him on." I said, "Come on, let's get my dog on this. This week, he's playing.
See, Matt, look at this.
And, 2 weeks later, he's like, "Oh,
Oh, yeah. Oh, because it's focused on the mic box. So
Yeah,
it's
but when
gotta
you were
zoom
just
out.
sitting there, it was, no, it wasn't the zoom, it was just the focus. It doesn't look terrible, but
He
At least
went
it's
up
my
there 6
angle, you
months
know.
later,
Yeah.
he give his life to God. And then he, little fella, it just, that's the stuff. Hey, but nobody else would let him play in the choir. Hey, we do call.
here, I'll sit in the chair and
Here's
just
how I'm
see if
sitting
it's
here with
focused in on
Your
there.
brother's boss. Yep. Brian shut down the fire. He said, tell him to go in fire.
Who is it?
Kyle, Mike's brother.
Oh.
How'd it go?
Jackson.
Oh, where's everybody? Son, I've had the craziest week, man.
I will take him, I did get a guy
Oh, I got rid of it.
Okay.
You, I
Well,
got
we're
thinking
being
you wouldn't want it.
discussed.
I just didn't send that back.
See, when I sit down, it's focused.
Oh, seriously?
But I forgot.
How did it get to Jackson?
Yeah.
It's focused now?
Yeah, we get it.
Alright, cool. I think I've-
Move like side to side quick.
I don't know if it's-
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that it did that, because I think it zoomed in. What?
Yeah, I think it's zoomed in too much because it's the mic box doesn't. It was focused in on that because it was the only thing standing still. It was too far in. So it's just sensing that mic box.
You'll know, because it like went to us, when I first
Yeah.
focused it, it went to a setting that just, I zoomed in on the focus, not the angle itself, it was the focus.
Here, and even when you move now, it's slightly, it changes. Here, let me try and just zoom out just a tiny bit.
I don't think it's that, there was just like a setting though on it that
Go
affected
again.
it.
Yeah, no.
There was a setting that did it,
Man, I got some crazy. I got some.
that just focused in on that box.
Here, you just come over here.
And one came out, he said, man, that was great. He's a little
See how like it kind of does it when you move? I mean, not that you're moving much, but.
Oh, I think maybe because autofocus was, here it is, manual, I had autofocus off, there we go. That fixes it now.
Good?
Yeah, you're good,
Okay.
it's moving with it now. Autofocus was off.
I don't remember where I got it.
That's why.
Now.
Yeah, we're good now, it's focused on you. Alright guys, we're all set when you're ready.
79, something to see.
Okay, record on my back.
Yep.
Alright, Brian, you'll be right here.
All right.
Don't be nervous.
Nate, where's your badge, man? He came with a nice badge for us.
Woke up that way, went to bed that
You
way.
see, I got mine now, I'm a jailer for the
I got a sticker, boy.
Yeah, I'm good to go. Jailer Ian, right here.
People ask me all the times that make you nervous. I said, I woke up nervous. Lived my whole life that way.
I'm gonna just take some photos of you if you want
Okay.
to look right at me. There you go.
Gotta be serious.
Yeah, give me a nice serious
What
face.
makes me think of Nathan?
There we go. Beautiful.
He didn't say yours was beautiful.
I said he was
Oh,
beautiful.
my bad.
Yeah, don't make fun of the guy. He fought valiantly out there. You know, that was his first one ever. Alright, cool. And then if you want to just come a little closer and yeah, you want to go right up to the mic like
Just
that.
move. Oh, there we go.
Alright, cool. Yeah, right like that. Look great. Alright, cool. Record there. Have you done one before or no?
Yeah, I've done a couple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. He's seasoned up for us.
I'm a pastor too. I don't know if they told you that.
Oh, no, they
That's
didn't.
very unique.
That's really cool.
But every time I preach, I still get nervous every time. So
Really?
it doesn't-
Every time I go in front
I'm
of
just
all
nervous.
these-
I'm a nervous guy. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I had autofocus off.
Yeah, no,
that's
that's
what
fine.
happened.
Yeah, it's not moving now.
So do you know Mickle? I call him Mickle, but Michael Hampton,
No.
Jessica's boss and Bambi's boss.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Because he's a preacher too.
Well, I may know him, but I don't know the name. I'm better with faces, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm not good with names.
I think we're all set.
Yeah, you're.
You want to just shut that door? Oh, thank you. I was making my assistant do it, but you beat him to it.
Did I put my water?
Brian, welcome to Locked In. Pleasure having you on the show. You are another jailer, but in a different county. Is that correct?
Yes, Joining County.
A joining?
Joining County, yeah, it's just the next county over.
Now, why do some places call it jailer, some warden, some superintendent? What's the difference?
Well, now, me, if I say warden, I'd be speaking of a prison. You know, ours is a county jail that actually has state inmates. So here we just call them jailers. So
Okay, but it's kind of in a way the same function.
yeah, well, I would think that a jailer's a little more hands-on. You know, we're a little more closer to the inmate side of it. You know, dealing with them a little closer than probably a warden would.
Is it insulting to call a jailer a warden or vice versa?
No, I've been called a lot worse.
I can imagine.
I like when they call me jailer. That means everything's going good.
Now, do you have the inmates call you jailer, or they got?
No, they sometimes they call me Mr. Gabbard, Brian, jailer. Typically they don't even call me jailer. So either is fine with me.
And now, are you an elected official or
Yes,
appointed? Okay.
yes, all jailers, and I'm not 100% sure, but Kentucky may be the only state that has jailers as elected officials. If they're not, there's not very many of them.
And did you grow up in Kentucky?
I did. I grew up right there where I'm at in Jackson County.
Wow, and never left at all?
Never left. I wanted to, but but you know, that goes on to the whole pastor preacher. You know, I got saved. My whole life changed. My plans changed, and I guess that's just where God wanted me.
Yeah, where did you want to go if you had to go
Florida.
Florida?
Yes, I had an uncle that had left, you know, years ago, went through a divorce and moved to Florida, and I had never even been to Florida, you know, at that point. But it sounded warm and friendly, and that's where I wanted to go. I can't even swim, so it wasn't about I didn't want to be a surfer or nothing. But
Well, it's still warm here though.
yeah,
It's pretty hot.
yeah, but you know, actually, the weather's changed a lot over the years. You know, used to when it got cold here, it'd stay cold until spring, but it's really not like that anymore.
What are the winters like in Kentucky?
They can be really bad, but like I said, they're not as bad as they used to be. It's just kind of like stretches, a couple weeks. It could be really bad, and 50ish, 40s. You know, it's not. It's tolerable.
Yeah, well, in
For
Connecticut,
you.
it's-
That's
yeah, I'd love that weather.
Yeah,
though, in the
and
winter.
usually, I mean, you know, somewhere around March, you probably from there on out, you have more than 1 days than you do the bitter cold.
Did you have family in law enforcement?
Well, my papa, I would call him Grandpa, was the jailer for about 17 years.
Same jail.
Yes. Then my uncle was jailer for 12 years, and I always thought they were crazy, and I would ask my dad, you know, I said, why would anybody want to do that? Because I saw the stress side of it. You know, my dad and his brother were really close, and my dad kind of helped keep him in line, you know, as we'd say here. But I would ask him, why does he want to do that? And my dad's response was, it's in his blood, you know. And I said, well, that's crazy. But then when I became a little more interactive with him in that jail, of course, I was saved and I started preaching, and that became part of it too. I did a lot of jail ministry. But up until 2 months before I ran for that office, I would have never done it.
Really? And you never worked in like corrections or anything
Never.
like that?
But I did do drug court. I'm still part of a drug court team. I've been in that probably 18 years. And then, of course, the jail ministry. And besides that, you know, I would go sit at the jail all the time and watch them interact. My last name's Gabbard. We come from a long line of being able to talk. You know, that's what we're known for, is to talk. Known for a lot worse things, but we are known to talk. You'll notice. So I would interact and watch the way he interacted with those inmates, and they loved him. I mean, didn't mean that he didn't run a good jail. Didn't mean he wasn't fair, but he had his heart in it. Caused him a lot of stress, as Nathan was talking about, and it has me also. But my heart is in it, and it probably affects my health a little bit. But the moment my heart gets out of it, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I feel like your role is a pretty much always on the clock type of job.
Yeah,
Like
24/7.
it's nonstop. Yeah, 'cause
Yes.
you're the point person when there's an issue.
And I'm sure Nathan's the same way. That's what I want to be though. If I tell them I do not like surprises, don't let me come in this jail in the morning without knowing something, whatever happened. I want to know. So sometimes that's 3 o'clock phone calls. If someone has to go to the hospital, you better tell me first. Because if something were to go wrong and they call me, I don't want to be unaware of the situation, you know. I'm a little peculiar over everything's done. I kind of micromanage, even though I try really hard not to, and I get advice not to do that. I still do it to a degree.
Did you go to college?
I did.
Where did you go to school?
Eastern Kentucky.
And what was your major in that?
I didn't go long enough to major in that.
So you never finished?
I was minored. No, but I did. My interest was like business.
Okay.
You know, but I didn't go far enough to accomplish much. You know.
So you don't necessarily need to have a degree in law enforcement to become a jailer at all.
No, and you know, reality, hands-on is the best education. You're not going to be there long. without learning how to do it. I had all kinds of great ideas that did not work. Thank God I didn't push it because it was my idea. If it didn't work, I didn't use it. I had a lot that did work, and I implemented those. But every idea I had wasn't the best one. Once I got in there, you know, and you can learn, you know, you can get an education, but once you're inside that jail, it's a little bit different.
Coming from a family that was running the jail previous to you, was there a lot of pressure and maybe even caution to not make changes in it because that was your family?
Well, no, and probably the best part is I didn't take over after him. He had already been out for about 8 years. But I did learn a lot of good things just watching him, and like I said a couple times, interacting with him was the best thing that I learned watching him.
Yeah. So walk us through like a typical day in your life as a jailer. It's like it's a Monday morning.
Oh,
Well,
Monday, I knew he was going to go Monday.
Yeah, what happens on a Monday?
Mondays, I usually don't go in Saturday, Sunday. If I'm in there on Saturday, Sunday, something is wrong. And I did learn that from my uncle. He stayed in the jail. And he's advised me, he's passed on now, but he said, don't live in that jail. So on a Monday morning is probably my worst, or my hardest days. I usually have 10, what we usually call them love letters, 10 letters from inmates, maybe more. My name's Brian, they usually spell it Brain. I've got used to that. I've got all these letters I've got to read. And then usually 5 to 6 voicemails I have to return. And if anything, if someone's went to the hospital on the weekend, if there's been a fight or anything like that, I just pick up from there and go on. And a lot of times and then I have all the guards that come in and talk to me, my employees, kitchen workers, supervisors. So it's about 2.5 hours before I leave my office to go back in the back part of the jail. Mondays can be really hard, and most times they go all through, it goes like that all through the day. So that's probably my hardest days on a Monday.
Are you doing like a walkthrough too?
Yeah, I don't normally do the walkthroughs, but if they want to see me, request to see me, in any situation, if it's a good situation, if it's a need situation, if it's a bad situation, I bring them out of that cell, bring them down to where I am, get them away from everybody else. It makes the situation a little bit easier to handle because, you know, our jail, our biggest cell houses 20. So at any point there could be 24 or 27 in there at times. So you don't want to go in there. If it's a confrontation with one, 26 others behind him, you know, I usually pull him out and talk to him that way. But I'm not above going in the cell either. You know, I go in sometimes, talk to them, mingle with them, you know.
How much access does an inmate have to you? Like if they have a grievance, I know you said you were reading the
Come
letters.
straight to my desk if it's a grievance. Believe it or not, we don't have a lot of those. But usually, like I said, it's a letter. You know, it's got my name on it. Most of the time it's just wanting something. I've hired some really good employees. It doesn't pay the best for those guys, but most of the ones I've hired has got a passion for it also. They kind of look the way I look at it, feel the way I feel at it, and works really good. So if they've got a question, they'll come to my office with it, give me a letter. A lot of times I'll write on it, or I may pull them down if it's something I don't want to write, you know, end up in court. I'll pull them down, answer their question.
Do you see a difference in ultimately like the inmates' experience in a jail when you have correctional officers and guards that are passionate about their job versus not passionate?
Well, it's the only jail I ever worked in, but you know, I've got some really good relationships with a few jails that run really good jails. Some inmates come from other ones that they're not used to being treated that way. My goal, the first thing I say to an employee is you treat them with respect until you can't. You be really good to them until you can't, and it has worked really well for us. You know, we don't go in, we don't degrade them, talk to them like men, talk to them like women, because that's what they are. And it has paid off really well for us. We don't have a lot of fights. We don't even have a lot of arguments with our guards and inmates. Every now and then you will, but it'll be their fault if it is.
Now, say the public comes in on a Monday. How different is the Monday public viewing versus like a Tuesday without the public present?
You mean like visitation or?
Just like anyone, like say the mayor comes
Yeah.
through. Like I know in the federal prison system, from my perspective, a lot of it is fake.
Yeah.
When someone like a politician comes through.
We very seldom have anyone like that come. Now, sometimes a judge will come. He's my cousin, so sometimes he'll come, but he leaves it to me. He lets me run the jail. The mayor has nothing to do with our jail. I've had really good magistrates. It's kind of like a board. You know, you have 3 magistrates and then the judge. They do most of the voting. Usually if I hire an employee, they let me hire who I want, unless it's something I don't know about that employee. It's worked for them previously, but they have really just turned that jail loose to me and trusted me with it. It's been a good relationship.
Now, even with the judge being your cousin, I'm sure people might think that it's not a fair and just system.
Yeah.
But how do you keep that fair and just balance?
You're not going to believe this. He's a pastor also. So I really believe, this may sound crazy, but I believe they just trust us. I've never had anything said in that manner. I think it's probably a big headache off of him to just hand it to me and say, you run it. And if the budget gets tight, if the money gets tight in the county, he may say, if you don't care, have them cut back a little bit on spending. That's as far as it's ever went. So whatever I need, most of the time he'll agree to it.
What's the first to go in a budget cut in regards to inmates' needs?
Well, the inmates are first priority, so it's never anything like that. To be honest, it might be office supplies or something on the outside, something to a vehicle. But we're pretty much self-sustainable. We have a big commissary. We run our own commissary. Most people don't know how jail works. It's pretty much a little town all in itself. We've got a store. The mail runs through us. We don't take mail in anymore. It's all done on a computer. So we don't have to run the risk of drugs coming in that way. It's on a kiosk in their cell. We proofread it, put it on that. But our commissary has done really well. When I took that jail over, I think it had $20-some thousand in the account. I left today, I looked at it, it's $387,000.
Wow.
But now I can take that money and spend it on an inmate. We make our own mats. We've got a commercial sewing machine. The inmates do the work. And you want to get a good mat? Let an inmate make one. Best mat in America, because they got to sleep on it. So they do really well. My chief deputy, she used to work in a sewing factory. So she's professional with the sewing machines, taught a lot of those ladies how to do it. And we buy all that out of commissary. Our cameras, we've updated our cameras, as Nathan was talking about his. I don't know if it's a good idea for me, but I can watch everything going on from my phone. Sometimes that's not a good idea. If I want to have a good weekend, I don't look at it, but we've updated those, added them to the existing cameras we already had, bought all that out of commissary. We can pay medical bills from a certain inmate. It just saves the taxpayers a whole lot of money using it that way. So it's been really good.
Now, the commissary, does that go to specific contracts? Like I know in the Fed it says Keef Coffee or different brands. Is that how you run
We
it?
just kind of, vendors may come to us. We try to find the best deals. We run all of our commissary in-house. So we've got a little building out there. I've got a great lady that runs commissary. She's a lot like me. If something's crooked, she wants it straight. She's gonna be a little OCD. I'm not talking about financial, I'm in a box. So she runs it really, really well. we keep our prices down, especially on food as much as possible. We still do we call them e-cigs, electronic e-cigs, vapes. We're still allowed to have those in the jail. Now, that's the only thing I make money on. That's what makes the ship sail. If you're hungry, you can buy it pretty cheap. If you want to smoke, it's gonna cost you. But we use it and we pay it right back to them. You know, the commissary money you spend basically benefits that inmate. We do a lot of that in work release too. You can buy lawnmowers, weed eaters, work release vehicles. We probably, on a daily basis, except Saturday and Sunday, 25 to 27 inmates go outside our jail and work.
Now, what about the food program? Does any of that money go to a better food program, or is that its own thing?
It's kind of its own thing, but our kitchen food, well, you know what we serve 3 times a day, we do that in-house also. Hire a little lady, I promoted her up to run in the kitchen. She worked in a restaurant for 40 years. So we order it from Performance Food, comes in and we do our own meals like that. So like tonight, no, that was just last night. They had chili and grilled cheese. And that's usually the first thing they tell us when they get there, the food's great.
Really?
So, and it is really good. It's good, and that goes a long ways too.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
most people in the country say county food's the worst.
Yeah.
It's got a terrible rep.
Yeah, well, I can see that, you know, but this lady takes great pride in her cooking. Matter of fact, if you go eat somewhere else, she's not happy about it. So I try to hide. If I want to go eat at Dairy Queen, she don't know about it. Because she wants to feed me.
What's your favorite meal there?
Probably. I'm a spaghetti kind of guy. I like the spaghetti. So, but now I like the chili also. That might be the second.
Yeah.
And we have chicken planks.
Chicken what?
Chicken planks, chicken strips.
Oh.
Those are really good too. So.
Now, do you guys ever have scenarios where, like, say a fast food restaurant has something that's like expiring or anything? Do they send that to the county for like a donation or anything?
No, but a lot of times our local food bank, they're not a really big, they don't have a really big facility. So if they get extra, they'll call us and donate it. But in that jail, I can't take their food and give them something else. So I have to feed whatever that meal is. We have to give them so many calories per day. I can add to it something extra, maybe that the food bank has sent, whatever that may be, you know. So, and a lot of churches, they may have a homecoming, you know, and they may have extra food and say, can we bring it up there and feed your inmates? As long as they got enough for everybody, I'm okay with it.
Now, do you have to inspect that food too to make sure everything is?
Yeah, and usually my kitchen, you don't get nothing past her, you know, nothing. She's really good, so she's going to inspect it. And it ain't gonna be as good as hers, but she will inspect it.
Does she have inmates helping her? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We rotate females, males. You know, we usually have 3 to 4 in there. And a lot of those guys and girls have never cooked in their life, and they learn that also.
I think that's one of the, like, you know, the best things about prison. It kind of produces chefs and trades that they can easily be hired at post-prison.
Oh yeah, and they take pride in that. You know, they may ask you, did you eat that? And I'm like, why? Oh, I made it, you know, did you spit in it or something? You know, and they do learn a lot. I've had guys come in there that couldn't open a can of soup and warm it up and leave really good at it. And I tell them, you need to go, my first thought was Waffle House. So I say, you need to go to Waffle House and get a job, you know. But they learn so many things like that. The work release stuff, some of them. I had a guy, he ran a weed eater all day long. His supervisor, or guard, bragged on him. He said, man, he's amazing, Brian. I said, really? Yeah. He said he's not stopped all day, watch him go. So he brags on him all day long. He had never ran a weed eater. He said, you know what the only problem is, Brian? He said, he didn't put any string in it all day. So he ran it with nothing. And he said, I don't have the heart to tell him. So next morning he put it in there for him, and I'm sure he realized the weed eater is better that way.
Wow.
But they learn that skill. They get really good at it. They learn how to mechanic. And Nathan will tell you, you've got one guy in there that knows how to mechanic. Pretty soon you got 10 guys in there that know. You know, they'll teach them how to do it, learn tricks, and pretty soon they become good mechanics.
Now, something I've always been curious about is pillows. Why do a lot of facilities not allow pillows?
You know what they told me when I took it over? One might smother the other.
That's what their reason was?
And I'm like, so they have to have a pillow to do that. You know, this is jail, man. They found a way. I do allow pillows. And actually, that same lady, the professional sewer, she'll make the pillows for me. You know, extra cotton that we got, we make mats. That's what she does.
I just feel like, I don't know, taking away someone's pillow.
I'd have to have a pillow.
Yeah.
I can't sleep.
I would take the jumpsuit and roll it up and use that as a pillow.
Yeah.
Or they would make it, that's a hustle in prison, making the pillows, but guards would take those away.
Yeah, we let them, but we issue them, you know, ourselves, so we don't allow anything like that brought in, but they're not really big, but they're enough. I couldn't sleep, well, I could, but I wouldn't want to sleep without a pillow.
Now, the thought process behind like the Bob Barker toothpaste and the
Bob Barker.
deodorant and all that, why is that? Like, why can't they have, you know, a normal, like a travel size, like a name brand one?
Well, we sell it in our commissary. We provide that. Usually that's, to be honest, it's not a real cheap way out, but it's for someone coming in, someone that can't afford or doesn't have any money to buy Hygiene. We offer them the Bob Barker shampoo, deodorant, you know, which I told them their price wasn't right, you know, Bob Barker, price is right. They didn't think that's as funny as I did, but usually enough Bob Barker rolling up and down here, you're gonna buy something else. And like I said, we sell that pretty cheap. Deodorant, Irish Spring soap, and my commissary lady, she's got a big old heart too, you know. So if someone says, "Can you get this type of shampoo or that type breaks me out," she'll order something for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the flavorless.
I couldn't use that, man. But to me, the toothpaste, the shampoo, the deodorant look all the same. I'd probably get them confused, you know.
That company's got to make a killing. I wonder who they knew to get into the system.
I believe it's really Bob Barker.
Yeah, state,
The real
federal,
Bob Barker.
everything. That's who he thinks behind it.
I didn't know he was in. I didn't know they was in every place.
They're, I mean, everywhere. I mean, you're in, you know, the sticks kind of out here in Kentucky.
Oh yeah, they found us too, man. They found us too.
They got you guys good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
But we, like I said, you know, we make them shower when they first come in. So we give them that shampoo and that toothpaste and that deodorant, and there's like a light shampoo in there just in case. And so that's really why we use it. Most of them buy the soap at the commissary.
What do you do when you come across an inmate that, you know, refuses to shower, or refuses to cut their hair or cut their fingernails? Because I was talking about this the other day with someone, and people do that, you know, to kind of buck at the system in a way.
Well, usually, the inmates kind of control that too. You know, you get a guy, you put him in a big cell. I mean, I go in those cells all the time, and it reminds me of my mother when I get in there. That's weird, I know you're thinking that, and I will tell you why. Because there's a sign that says, if you pee on the seat, wipe it up, clean up after yourself. Believe it or not, inside there, you know, they're pretty clean. And so a guy comes in like that, I put him in the cleanest cell I got, and they talk him into it.
Do you guys have seats, or is it all one?
Yeah, I don't know for sure how many seats that are inside those cells. It's kind of like a little table and chairs where they sit. I'm not sure how many's in that cell.
What about the toilet seat? Is there one, or is it all?
Oh yeah, you're talking about toilet.
Yeah, so I mean, it was good to know about the other.
In the
seats, too.
in the big cells, you know, like the 20-man cells, there's 2 toilets. So
And they pick up the seat, or no, or they're built in?
they're built in.
Okay.
So they'll use one for one, and the other one for 2, if you know what I mean.
Ah, so they have like a system.
Yeah, it even says that. He told it only.
Are those the toilets that like you can only flush a couple times, or are they the power ones?
Yeah, air's flush many times you push it, which it's a pretty newer facility. So I think the back toilet has the shower next to it. So you imagine which one that's for. So. But they do that. They use them both, and one's for one thing, one's for the other.
It's amazing how these rules develop.
Yeah, and
in
it's a
these
good thing for
facilities.
me.
Yeah.
It kind of controls itself in there.
Now, in these county facilities, are there politics at all, like prison politics that would stem in normal prisons, or not really?
No, as in what? Give me an example. Now.
I guess like when you have gangs, like you gotta, show paperwork or anything.
Gangs ain't even got to Jackson County yet. We're so far away. We're just learning about. But no, it's not.
It's
not
like
bad.
very chill. Like,
Yeah, it's the number one complaint usually we have is there's not enough goes on in this jail, man. We want some more action. I mean, that's the truth. But as Nathan's telling, we've got those classes, MRT classes. We got a lot of work release guys. We work a lot of them. You get in trouble when you're out. So that kind of helps run it also. For every 40 hours they work, they get a day off their sentence. And those classes are really, really good that they have. And so you get in a fight, you cuss my guard, you're out of class. And it helps really well.
Can you get into, so you can be sentenced to your facility to do your time?
Yes.
Okay. So these are people that are
Class
present-
D
Class D.
facility is what we are.
And what does that mean charge-wise?
Usually I'm trying to give you a good example. As Nathan said, we can have someone who's charged with murder, but only while he's being charged. Now, once he's final sentenced, he's shipped on to a prison somewhere. So usually you're looking, most of ours, 98% of them are drug related, or the other percent, theft, trying to think, child support, things like that. But murders, we don't hold them while they're being tried, and we've had them up to 6 years before. But those are the best inmates I have.
And why
which
is that?
Hard to believe. I don't know why it works that way, but the worse charges an inmate has, the better they are inside that jail. I don't, and I've had some really bad charges that you would forget's inside that jail because they don't ask for a lot, they don't want much. I don't know why it's like that, but it is.
Now, when you leave work, I know you said you like to be kind of hands-on
I felt
and
my
stuff.
phone moving a minute ago right there.
Well, when you're leaving work, do you have like friends, family that ask you about your job, that are curious about it? Because there is a huge fascination
Oh yeah.
with the prison system.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to explain. It's a lot different than I thought it would be too. Some things they think I'm the judge and the jury. Someone may come in on a DUI and be out before the cop gets home. And they're like, "Why'd you let him out?" And I had to let him out. He got a bond. I can't hold him in there. And they want to know all kinds of things like that, especially if you get a new inmate in that has a really bad charge. They want to know how their attitude is, what kind of person they are, and but not usually my immediate family. It's just a lot of my friends, just curious about the job, and used to they want to know how in the world a preacher could be a jailer, But it works out really well. I was telling Jessica over a minute ago, usually if they call my name, if they come down into the booking area or the medical part of it, and they holler my name, they're wanting something, And I love to give it, just don't aggravate me with it all day. So this guy wanted me, and I said, what's going on? He said, my child's in the hospital, 6 years old, has pneumonia. And I thought he was wanting to go see it. So my brain starts turning out, I don't think I can do that. I was really hating to tell him I couldn't. And he said, I want you to pray for him. And I said, do you want to pray right now? He said, yeah. So we did. And when the prayer was over, tears filled in his eyes. And, that's why I'm there. I can't do that every day. And I can't do it unless they ask me. But today, I don't know what time it is, but it's been a good day because of that situation. I have to be jailer sometimes, and I don't like that, but I do a lot of praying. I'm gonna bring this in, okay? This is who I am. This is the best friend I got in my life, so I can't leave him over there. He has to go with me. So I do a lot of praying, and when I get to do that part, I love it. When I have to be the jailer and a guard or an inmate's done something he ain't supposed to do, I don't like doing that. I don't like having to fire someone. But when those things happen, I talk to God. I'm like, I didn't enjoy that. And one day he let me know something. He let me know that if I did enjoy that, then I didn't need to be there. So, in my words of speaking, he was saying that's part of the job. But the fact that you don't enjoy it means your heart's right. You know, I don't want to see anybody lose their job. I don't want to see an inmate locked down. I don't like that. I don't like to put them in the hole, as we call it. Sometimes I have to, and I will be that guy if you make me. You know, and finally, I've earned that respect in that jail. I'll laugh, I'll talk, I'll pray with you. I had one instance, this is a very good instance. This guy was screaming, kicking the door, cussing my guards, and I went in really mad. Believe it or not, preachers get mad too. So I went in there and I got in his face and we had a conversation and so he hushes. And I start out the door mad. He says, "Will you come back and pray for me?" I said, "Yeah." So I get over there and I said, "Man, I'm gonna have to pray for me first. Let me calm down a minute." And I prayed for it. And I was as sincere in my heart as I would be any other time.
That's great.
I like being that guy. I like being the guy, like, I'm just telling you how it works. I ain't telling you anything. This is how I do it. I check Wednesday, no, today's Thursday. I check Tuesday. How many people in this jail has not got any money in a month? She gave me a bigger list than I was hoping for. So it's like 8 people hasn't had any money in a month. Now, I'm not gonna survive on 3 meals a day. I'm not. Well, just one tray at every meal. So what I did is, I got that list, and I use my e-cigs, you know, and some of them don't smoke. But what they do, they trade it. They trade it for noodles. You know, and noodles are the greatest thing ever in jail. So, I give every one of them an e-cig. And some of them say, "No, I don't smoke." We'll trade it. I had one guy, he didn't smoke. He said, so when work release come in, I reward him usually once a week. And he come in, I hand him an e-cig, he said, "Yes, my cheeseburger for the day." He would take that e-cig and trade it with one of his other inmates in there to his cheeseburger on Friday.
Wow.
We give him cheeseburgers on Friday, so he would trade it for an extra cheeseburger. So I've been hungry before. I have. At a time in my life, I sat in a restaurant across from my friends. I had no money on me, and I was hungry, and they were all eating. And I used to wonder why God allowed that to happen to my family, because my mother, my mother is a godly woman. You know, she take my godly side and trump it every time. That's how good she is. And I didn't understand why we went through that. You know, hunger is a bad feeling. I'm not talking about I've not ate lunch. I'm talking about I'm hungry. So I sat there and I was hungry and I had no money. So they asked me if I wanted something and I said no, because I was embarrassed. It happened a second time and I never forgot that feeling. But now I know why God did it. I'm not going to feed you if you're hungry unless I've been hungry. I don't know what that feels like. You know, to an extent I might, but I told God, I said, if you put money in my pocket, nobody will ever go without food. And He's always blessed me. That benefits me too, you know. I've always got money. And so when one of those guys doesn't have any money, I say, "Here, take this and trade it." But our jail, I'm going to compliment my inmates. It's not like a lot of other places. I'm sure Rockcastle is this way. I know the jailer. He's a good dude. And but our inmates, if you don't have anything, they share it with you. I know it sounds strange, and a lot of jails probably don't operate that way, but they do. And that's kind of why, you know, I won't let them raise those prices. I'm not, most of the time the granny's feeding them. I'm just not going to do it. I can't do it because I know what it's like. to lay down and my stomach not filled. And I am so thankful now. I went through those things. It wasn't fun then, but it made me a better Christian than I would be without it.
Do other jailers come into your facility to kind of, you know, see what you're doing?
Nathan should. It would help him a lot if he. Sometimes they do.
And do you go to
I'm
other
just kidding.
facilities at all to check it out?
Well, I had a real good plan. When I won my election, I had a really good plan. I was gonna go to these other jails and learn how to be a jailer. But I got stuck in there 3 days later after I won. So I didn't get that opportunity. But sometimes if someone is running for that, they may come to me and ask me questions. How do you run this place? But really, if I sat down and had to give you a plan, it would be hard to do. It would be really hard to do. I run it on a daily basis and an individual basis. Some of those guys need you in their face. Some of them need a pat on the back. It's just a different. Some of them have never had a father. Some of them, and I'm telling you, that's probably what's wrong with our nation today, you know. My son needs a dad even when he doesn't think he does. Some of these guys, I have to be that to them, you know. Some of them need that. And a dad sometimes is very corrective. Sometimes he's patting him on the back. So that's kind of how I do it. And I tell them my way. I doubt they would want to do it my way. My way is based off my walk with God. You know, I do show mercy. I do show grace, but there's also a time of judgment. And I had a lady sneak drugs in her jail 3 times. She's good. So she made the comment, he can't stop me. Now that made my face get red. So I approached her. I said, you're probably right. I said, but I can't punish you. And I said, when I'm done, you're gonna know how many blocks is in this cell. And I kept her up there for a few days. And she told me how many blocks was in that cell, 394. She said, I counted them, hope I'm right. And you know what she said? You broke me, I'll never do that again. That was hard for me. I'm a guy, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't lie to you, I'm a pretty forgiving guy. I am. That's why I got 900 contacts in my phone. Not because everybody like, it's just I forgive them, you know? I heard Nathan talking. I had a lady, or 2 boys, steal my wife's car out of my driveway. I was a chairman for Unite. I guess they thought I was I was following them. I don't know, but I wasn't. Stole the car out of my driveway and burned it. And years later, that same guy came to my jail as an inmate. Do you know I put him in work release? I worked him and nobody ever knew who he was. And I was saying when he said that earlier, that's not easy to do. But nobody knew that he had done that because I treated him just like everybody else. But sometimes you've got to correct him. I do not enjoy that at all, but I will do it because I ran for this job. I knew what it consisted of, and I'm going to love you. I'm going to give you mercy, but I will still be the jailer. And it took a few years to get that across, and even to some employees, but I finally got it across. And don't push me too far.
Now, change is extremely difficult for inmates. What's that transition period like when an old jailer leaves and the new one comes in?
Oh, they tried. They tried. They heard I was a preacher. You know, one of them said I was a pushover employee. So at the next staff meeting, I didn't call him out. Didn't want to embarrass him, so I embarrassed him. I said, well, someone in here called me a pushover. I said, well, you stand up and come push me over right now. Here I am. He didn't get up, he quit. You know, so that was the part that was hard. They kind of want to use that against you. I have never said a word in there that I wouldn't use anywhere else. I've never said a word in there I don't think that I would ever say it in a church. So at first they wanted to use, I thought you was a preacher. And I'm like, what did I do that made you think I'm not? they don't use that much. They know I don't like it. So that was a big transition. For them, for me, I changed things up a little bit, kept a lot of things the same. But once those inmates see that you're changing things for their betterment, they usually come on your side, pretty quickly. So it wasn't that hard. It took a little bit of time. It almost drove me crazy, but it took a little bit of time. And I adjusted too. I had to change some things, and I'm a pretty stubborn guy. If I'm right, I'm right. Until you make me see I'm not. And then I'll change. An instance, one time this guard come to me, he listened to phone calls. He said, that guy called you this name. I said, oh, he did. So I went in there was about 5 other people in the cell. I said, you called me that? No, I did not. I said, oh yeah, you did. You did on that phone. No, I didn't. I was sure he did. So he said, I promise you, Brian, I did not call you that name. I said, well, you're going to stay up here for a while. You lied to me to my face. I shut the door and I went and listened. He didn't call me that. So you know what I did? I went right back in that cell and I said, I owe you an apology. You didn't call me that name, and I'm sorry. And he didn't know how to take that. He looked at me funny. But you know what? After that, man, he respected me. He said, you apologized to me, and I respect that. Actually, he got out of prison. He spent, I don't know how many years. And he messaged me one day, told me he loved me. And his Nate said, that's the greatest. I see people I go to church with that I may meet them on the road, they may not wave at me. I may have used my church to pay an electric bill for someone. They may not talk to me at the store. I've never met an inmate out on the street that didn't come up to me. I had one drive by the jail and he turned around and come back and he said, I just want to shake your hand. Thank you for being. Now I'm not telling you I'm perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I'm just telling you the good sides of it. And he got back in the car and left. This is how I feel. I can meet you today and be nice to you and treat you good. You might not even remember my name. But if I catch you at the lowest point of your life and I'm good to you then, you'll never forget me. I told my son, he was a little boy, I've always taught him to give the hunger part. I give him extra money. I say, you said kid there no money at school, you better buy it. So one day I said, his name's Derek, he wants to be a jailer. I said, you give a kid with $20 a dollar, he's never going to remember it. I said, you give a kid with nothing a dollar, and he'll be your friend forever. And you catch a guy in jail, whether he's there one night or 5 years, and you show him a little bit of kindness, and he never forget it. One guy came to our church, and he gives his testimony. He said, he changed my life. He pointed at me. I was like, really? And I thought, well, what did I do? It must have said something really cool, And I kept waiting for the punchline. So finally, I was like, what did I do? You know what he said? He said, you was kind to me. And I said, that's all it took. This man was an addict for years. Today, somewhere today, he's in a rehab working, changing other people's lives. So I usually take the Jesus at the well story. You ever heard that?
No, I haven't.
Little one, he met one woman at a well. They had no interaction. He was a Jew. She was a Samaritan. They had no interaction. They were not supposed to talk to each other. So he sat down at the well. He talks to her, treats her kindly. She gets saved. She goes back into the city and tells everybody. The whole city gets saved. And all that he did was talk to her and treat her with respect. And I'm even in this generation, even in this crazy world we live in, it goes a long ways. If you got a few more minutes, I'll tell you one more a little quicker.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I took a guy home one day. I said, I'm going to take him home. He lived in London. And the only reason I'm telling you this story is because I didn't do anything special for him. I just talked to him. He said, my dad beat me until I was 8. And the only reason he stopped then is someone killed him. And I didn't grow up that way. I had a great mom and dad. So he turns with this question that I He said, why would God allow that to happen to me? So I look out the windshield and I said, now Lord, this would be a good time to help me. I turned back around. I said, do you beat your children? He said, I have never. I said, maybe God put you there to stop that curse. Did his dad beat him? He said, yes, and his dad beat him. I said, maybe God put you there so you'd stop this. He looks at me and said, I never thought of that. I said, me either. I didn't think of that either. We get to a red light, and you know what this 50-something-year-old man says to me? I never gave him any money. I didn't even pray with him. I don't know what I did other than listen. This is amazing. He said, you've been better to me than anybody in my life. I said, I've not done anything. I hadn't done anything other than give him a ride from the Key to London. That's about 30 miles. And talk to him. Learned a valuable lesson that day. It's not, I preach, I have sermons, but if I don't love you and treat you right, none of that even matters.
Kindness goes a very long way.
It goes a long ways. God makes me give so much of it away, and sometimes I don't want to be kind. You know, sometimes I don't want to be that guy. But if I've had any gift, I'm not the best speaker, I'm not the best preacher. I can't sing. Shoot, I can't even swim. I told you that. So, but I do, when I'm done with my work here, I want someone to say, you know, he was kind. If that's all I can give, that's what I want to be.
What do you think's been the biggest challenge, you know, going from the role of a preacher to the role of a jailer? I mean, that's a night and day, you know, difference. But I'm sure there's similarities too, in a way that most people wouldn't think of either.
Well, and God always has that. You know, he can. I'll never remember a story, but a good friend of mine, state trooper, told a story about a guy. He didn't like all the ingredients that went into this food. So they asked him about all these ingredients. Do you like this? No, this. But do you like biscuits? Yeah. You know, he didn't like any of the ingredients, but he liked what it come into. So, the Bible says all things work to the good. Them that love the Lord and called according to his purpose. So that's the way I look at it. The biggest adjustment was I had built a reputation as a preacher, as a friend to anybody, you know. I've never been drunk in my life. I'm fixing to really blow your mind again. I have never been high in my life, but I've done a lot of stupid things. So, saying that, you know what? As a little child, growing up I just got my driver's license. You know who I was? I was the guy that drove the people around that was drunk. I loved being around them. My mom said, son, you can find some of the roughest people to hang out with. I wonder if she still thinks that. You know, I mean, here I am. Now I live with 100 of them. But God called me to be with those people. Called me in drug court. I said, Lord, I can't help these people. I've never been drunk now. And he used that word on me again. No, but you can love them. I said, that's what I'll do then. So, being that guy that has to correct them, everyone I love them. So you know how I adjusted finally? I do my children that way. I wouldn't correct anybody in that jail any other way than I would my own child. And so I don't punch them, I don't kick them, but there's means to correct them. You wouldn't believe how many times one of them gets in trouble and says, Brian, I'm sorry, I disrespected you. I mean, so I guess I kind of use it that way, but it was a really big adjustment. Not so even much with the inmates. A lot of it was with the employees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was probably the hardest job I had, was that part of it when I first took over. They didn't think a preacher should be in jail. But as I guess at the time Jessica, God is always in my life. He has everybody's. They may just not recognize it. Put one of his people where you really need him. And what better place in the world than in a jail cell? When sometimes mom don't answer the phone no more. And I tell you, if you've got a mother and she doesn't answer the phone, you're in bad shape. You know. So there I am. You know what I said when I was running for that, the greatest statement that come out of my mouth.
Your slogan?
My slogan right at the end, I said, if your child comes to jail, who do you want to be there? And points. I left it at that.
It's a pretty damn good.
That's exactly what I said. And I had a woman approach me and she said, when you said that, I said, I'm voting for him because my son has been in trouble. Guess where he works today? He works for me. I've got a guy in my jail that is one of my right-hand men. I messaged him over there a minute ago, went through drug court. He was an addict. The woman he married was an addict. They've been clean 14 years. So when somebody looks at me and says, I can't overcome drugs, I say, oh yeah, you can. They say, you ain't never been on. No, but he has. Tell him that. Judge told his wife she would never have her child. She would never raise her child. Well, today she has 5 and adopted another one that the judge gave her. So I've surrounded myself with people that have been on the bottom so I can help people that are on the bottom. I don't never did like to do this. I have a 4-wheel. I hate to admit this, I don't like to get dirty. I don't like mud, don't like dirt. I don't want it under my fingernails. I don't want it on my clothes. I don't want it on my automobile. But spiritually speaking and work-wise, I like to get down in the dirt with them and pull them up because those guys and those girls are the best friends you'll have in your life if you help them in the worst time of their life. And that's where God put me, and I'm going to do the best I can till I'm done here.
What do you think is the biggest lesson the criminal justice system has taught you that you didn't ever look at or think of before you came into this role, and something that you want to share to others?
Oh man, that's a good question. I've learned a lot in that. Some probably not anything really at the top of my head, and it would probably be impossible for them to know some of these things. But when I see someone really making an effort, here's what really hurts. This may not even be the question you have, but I'm going to use it. Here's what I see hurts some of these people. Old charges. They may straighten their life up for a year, and I'm not talking about murder or any kind of terrible charge. I'm talking about drugs or anything. Child support sometimes bites them. They may be doing good for a year, and then an old charge may come up and bite them, and then they have to come back to jail. And the first thing they say is, what's the use? I've been doing good, look where I'm at. And I always used it. You ever raised a garden? Where are you from, Connecticut?
Yeah, Connecticut.
Yukon.
Are you a Yukon fan?
No. I do respect them though. They took us out way too many times.
The girls or the guys or both?
Either one. I don't know. But I wish I was.
Yeah.
I would be I'd be a happier fan if I was.
Absolutely.
It seemed like they win all the time. But anyway, you ever raise a garden?
Like grow a garden?
Yeah.
No.
We call it raise.
Raise it,
Grow a
yeah.
garden. That's probably the correct way. I tell these guys, listen, whatever you plant's gonna come back up. You plant, maybe in 6 years ago, now you gotta deal with it. Here's what you do. You gotta reap this, but it's gonna be over with. And you've been sowing really good seeds since then. Now, before long, you're gonna come back, and those things are gonna be in your life. The good's gonna come back. They're looking for anything. Help me. Tell me something good. That, I don't know that you can ever do anything with that. It's hard to prove. Hey, I'm really doing good. Because once you get that name, once you get that whatever idea that you're this person, people are not very forgiving, unless you help them somewhere down the road. But I promote these guys and girls. He was talking earlier, didn't ask me this question, so I'm going to answer it anyway because I want to. I've seen some people change. Nathan didn't have a percentage, I wouldn't know either. It would be really low. But goodness, if it's 1 out of 10, and that's something, ain't it? That's one person you're gonna meet on the road that's not intoxicating. That's one person that is gonna go find their children and say, I'd like to finish raising you. Man, I love that. That's one person that builds a bridge back to mom and dad and says, there's a change in my life. And I've not seen a lot of it. It hurt me at first. I want to change everybody. That's my goal, change everybody. And it did hurt a little because they come back and they come back. But I ran into a guy today, I don't know if you talk like that in Connecticut, but
Yeah,
I didn't
well,
actually
in
get him
bump,
hit on, you
we
know.
talk like
I
that.
just saw him, okay?
Bump and
We
disorder.
didn't bump, yeah,
Come on,
okay, bump. I
the
bumped
bumper
into it,
ran.
yeah.
We say, hey, I ran into someone at the supermarket.
There you
That's
go.
normal. Yeah.
So I did.
You body slammed him?
No, I headbutted him, but a man, he has changed his life. But you know what he told me? He said, my girl, she won't talk to me around certain people. But when it's just me and her, she does. I said, you know what you ought to do? I said he was upset. I said, you ought to take advantage of the time she gives you. Let deal with the rest of it. When that opportunity comes, take advantage of it and enjoy it. That man, when I made somewhat of a difference in his life, now he's made a difference in people I don't see. He goes under bridges with the homeless, preaches the gospel, feeds them. I mean, you know, he's been there. He comes into my jail now and witnesses to these people. And he makes a difference in their life. You know, and so if I get 1 out of 10, he may get the next 2 out of 10. You know, he may get the next 3 out of 10. But that's still part of mine, you know, because I got you. And so I invested in him, so now that's part of my glory, you know, spiritually speaking, part of my glory. And if I die today, my work for God's not finished because he's still going on. He's a product of my kindness. And I'm sure not everybody'd say, oh, I love Brian Gabbard, he's the best guy. But if they're honest, I don't owe anybody nothing. If I owe you an apology, I'll apologize to you. Ask my wife. Ask anybody. I will. If I'm wrong, I'll tell you. And that's how I live my life, and it works for me. It may not work for nobody. Well, it would work for everybody, but it works really well for me, and I know it does. You know, but it's challenging, man. When I walk in that door of a Monday morning, I dread it sometimes. I love what I do, but it's challenging to me, and it's not always easy. People say down here, maybe they say this Connecticut.
You shooting that Connecticut hard today. Holy
Husky
cow.
fan over here. They say you can't be good to people, some people. I say you can be good to all people. It may not benefit you. They may not appreciate it, but you can still be good to them. What stops you from being good to someone? You know, if I was only good to people that's good to me, the Bible said I'm a Pharisee. In other words, that's not the right way. I mean, I believe he died for everybody. And they use that on me sometimes. What about that guy over there with those charges? He died for him. I said, yeah. And they question that. They get mad at me for telling them it wasn't my blood. I didn't die. I'm just telling you what it says. So, to be good to everybody is not easy. And when I walk in that place sometimes, you know, somebody may say, they may call me somebody beside Mr. Gabbard on a phone call, if you know what I mean. They may call me a bad name. So I say, you call me a bad name? And you know what I'm sorry, I was mad. I said, I was mad yesterday, I didn't call you a bad name. What have I not done for you? And I tell you, you really want to get an advantage, be good to a man, and then let him do you wrong and say, is there anything you ever asked me I didn't try to help you with? No. You know, that's how I win. You can be good to everybody. It just may not seem rewarding, but you can be. And it's a very challenging thing, and I'm sure Nathan feels the same way. It's a very challenging thing. But the day I stop doing it, I'll leave.
Brian, thank you so much, man, for
You got another hour? I'm good.
You're just getting warmed up. No,
I appreciate
thank you.
it.
I know you're
I
a busy
enjoyed it.
man, and I appreciate you taking your time to come here and give up, what I think will be very refreshing to a lot of parents who listen to the show who have children that or loved ones incarcerated.
Can I answer one more question?
Yeah, go for it.
I heard this question where I got, what advice would you give someone if they have a child in the jail? I think I had to leave for a moment.
I don't think I asked you that question.
No, I think you asked him
No,
that
I'm
question.
kidding.
But I would love to answer that right now.
Yeah, go for
Or
it.
anybody
The
else.
floor is yours.
Man, don't give up on them. Don't give up on them. Because I see the sober side of them. I mean, if I had to deal with somebody intoxicated, and I do when they come in, And that's, once they sober up, they're a whole different person. A lot of times I find I never known them. I know a guy, the only time I ever seen him, he was drunk. But when I got in there, I met him when he wasn't. This guy's not too bad of a guy. And they'll ask me, I say, well, he didn't care about his children when he was on the street. Man, he was intoxicated. And yes, it's his fault. He shouldn't have done that. But you can intoxicate yourself so much that you don't feel nothing. So, they have no emotion. A lot of this medicine, even people that take them, takes those emotions away from them. I take your emotion away from you, you're not a person anymore. You know, you become a robot. So when they're not that way, and they call and they say, I love you, Mom, sometimes their mom says, well, you just want me to get you out. Not necessarily. Maybe he's really speaking what he feels now. He just hasn't felt that in a long time. I've got females, he may have pulled the plug on me. I got 20, I got 20 females and 90 males. Those females are rough. Sorry girls, they're rough. But if I mention a child to them, they can't handle it. Tears come down their face. I've had some guards say they don't carry that. No, they're feeling that now. Now they're not intoxicated. Look that word up. It changes your thoughts. Changes everything about you. You can't even drive a car right intoxicated. How you gonna raise a child right that way?
Yeah.
You can't.
Even the toughest people, you know, can feel emotion.
Yes.
Everyone has that
And when
ability.
they get to that point, man, here would be my advice. When they call you, they're in that jail, and they're sobered up, take it, understand it, and it's probably real. Don't ever give up on them, because I'm not going to, and neither's God. If they're not, and there's people out here, everywhere you look, they flood my jail with rehabs and churches and ministries every day. They flood it. So don't give up, because strangers ain't giving up. Don't give up on them.
Never.
I'm going to hush.
Thank you, Brad, for everything.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully you don't have to work too hard the rest of the day.
Oh, I will.
Maybe you
My
can enjoy
phone's
yourself.
ringing, I feel it.
Well, tell me you just had a wonderful podcast interview, and it kept you busy for a couple hours.
Yeah, I tell them it was big too. Some guy from Connecticut.
Yeah, Yukon, baby.
Yeah, Gino Remo.
Listen.
Yo, shout out to Eric on the live.
Who's Eric?
He started a landscaping business.
What's up, Eric? Shout out to you, man.
You helped him out. You
Oh,
helped him
because of
start it.
him?
Yeah, because of you, he started it.
Nice car. I love it. Hey, I want
Brian was on a roll.
Was you name me again? Is that what
I like
Hey, let's
you,
all
man.
take a
Hey,
picture.
we
You
tried
wanna
to
do
get
another
Dan
one?
Hurley from you all, and you wouldn't give him to us.
No, he was trying to go to LA.
Yeah. So you don't even know we tried to get him. That's how
No one talks about
that
Kentucky.
wasn't even a
No
relationship.
one talks about Kentucky.
He's good, man, ain't he?
No
Dan
one talks
Hurley's
about
good.
Kentucky.
Let's take a picture behind this.
Yeah, where do you want
How
to
are you
pick?
gonna do it?
I guess Matt's gonna, Matt, we take a picture.
Yeah.
With this?
I know if I ever get arrested.
We don't want
I'm going to
that.
Kentucky.
Nah, not me. Not a big picture guy.
Come see me. You know what the worst part of the picture is? Where you put your hands.
Don't put him near Ian. He might get a little touchy. Perfect.
Ian, you wanna do the inmate or not?
That sound like my
It's up
dad.
to you.
Oh, the chat thinks you're doing the inmate. The chat thinks you're doing the inmate.
Yeah, we're doing the inmate.
Hey, if we're doing this, you, we need to do it together. That would be
What did he
great.
go
Oh,
to?
I know.
What's he in prison for?
Great.
Drugs.
Drugs? Okay. Is he a talker? Like,
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no,
Cool.
good.
Does he know who I am or no?
No.
Okay.
Did we have like waters or something here? Is there like a vending machine that I could?
You know, that's right.
Did he promise that?
Let's
or,
ask-
No.
Oh, there's a.
All right.
The other one wasn't sure about being picked on camera.
Oh, that's perfect.
Just do the mail.
His nickname?
Yeah, just fill this up.
Rooster? Yeah, give me like 5 minutes. so I can dump it.
Yeah, I'll go get him together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a water I could have?
Yeah.
I'm going to fill. Yeah, you stole mine.
It's right here.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
You will.
Give you the tour of the water machine here.
Seeing if there's water in there.
Oh, this is good. We could just keep filling up.
Huh?
Hopefully this doesn't fall.
Ian's was wanting one, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, he stole
I got
mine.
some teeny baby ones and a Snapple.
I'll give him the small one.
Huh?
We'll give him the small one.
That's
That's all he needs.
all you want?
I guess we'll just give him both.
Yeah,
We'll keep
those are
him a
teeny.
little.
You don't want a Snapple?
No, I'm good. Thank you. There's probably some workers here. They're gonna come back later and see it.
They're like, don't worry.
Like, what the
about
hell
it.
happened to my Snapple? Wanted to just enjoy a good lunch and they don't get it.
My boy did this. Oh yeah, he's got that.
Here, we got you the biggest waters we could find.
Well, they been, on stage,
There's a
Oh
Snapple.
yeah, yeah.
his mom is the best woman in the world.
Thanks,
You want a
man.
Snapple?
Is it diet or no?
Why have you not offered me anything? Why low class?
want a
thing?
snack?
No, I got a Mountain Dew. I got to leave, but I'm gonna tell you
I
this.
just found them.
You would
No,
not
it's
believe
not a
this.
diet. Ian.
Growing up until I got saved, I was the most backwards, bashful person you ever met in your life.
He was, listen,
I must have saved it all these years.
he was chopped.
I held it in.
Well,
Yeah,
now,
I
now
couldn't
they know
talk.
they can't get you to stop. But those are the best gets, that's what we want.
You
Never
put me in a
stop.
crowd of 1 million people, I'd dog.
Well, we got you 700,000 just now, so.
Can we up it?
We'll see how many
He's like, I'm not coming back till 1
Doing
million.
the best I can.
Hey, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you for everything.
When it comes out.
Show Big Blue.
You con.
See you in the final four, buddy. Which one's still mine? Oh my God.
This one's mine.
There's 12 Mountain Dews here.
This
They're all
didn't
in.
have to be yours.
Yeah, why do you guys love Mountain Dew so much?
Oh,
That's all.
Like,
it's
I've
in
never
black.
seen so many Mountain Dews in my life.
it is a hillbilly drink.
It is.
I promise. Look it up. I've got
That's
one at
correct.
home, an old bottle. It's got a hillbilly on it.
Remember the glass
It
bottle?
used to be like moonshine.
I've never seen so many in my life.
Yeah, it used to be moonshine.
Eric, it's 4:36 here.
And so what do you drink as far as soda?
I drink Diet Coke.
Okay.
Who's Eric?
I drink
Dr. Pepper.
beer as soda.
Oh no, it's Mr. Bibbs around.
Yeah, I like
Mr. Pibb.
Yeah, that's a good. That's kind of like hard liquor, you know. It hurts. I see you guys.
See ya.
Huh? Yes, you can get out. You just have to push the button
How's
down
our
at the
chat
door.
doing?
It's good, dude. Keeping it live, you know?
What's up, crew?
Sweet tea. It's got to be good sweet tea, though. That sugary shit doesn't work.
I haven't eaten anything today. You guys got me not a dime, nothing.
want-
Look at him complaining.
Nothing. Well, we can wait till after.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to go run out.
Should have got Starbucks like me. I just ate mine.
But I'm gonna need some food after this. They got me working out here like the dog.
No.
They got me.
I think you got some good.
Look at
eater.
this. Uploading the footage.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Getting
Every
ready to
episode,
edit.
We upload the footage.
This is it. We take the SIM cards out of the cameras. This is our soundboard here.
I finished this one.
Which one's this?
Look at this.
Mr. Bass?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Look
We're
at
gonna
this,
plug
guys.
that in, dude.
Mr. Based right here. Look at that. There he is. That one, Mr. Bass drops
Sunday.
Sunday. Who's ready for this, buddy? This one's going to be good. Here you go, man.
It's going to be the best one.
Yeah, we've been live. Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying in the chat before when they were whispering, like, are you whispering? I'm like, no.
Yeah, stop whispering. You can-
Well, no, the camera was back here. That's why I was right next to
No,
him.
I hear the whispering.
We got one inmate today.
Is that Mikey?
No, it's Nick. Are you home?
Is that the man?
Oh, yeah, that is.
Yeah, you wanna meet him?
Tell him to come get some food with us.
Hey, Ian said come and eat with us after this is done, so we'll get in the shower and we'll eat somewhere in Melbourne.
Yeah, this is,
Make sure you're dating the right man.
I'll try to give you as best. Oh, almost unplugged everything.
Yeah.
So our setup process looks something like this here. We got 2 big carrying cases we fly with. Like, this is my hand. I got big hands. That's compared to the whole case. We got another one over here. One's for the stands, and then the other one's for all the audio equipment. We got our soundboard here.
We're interviewing Rooster.
So this is the stand that you guys are sitting on.
Oh, yeah, this one's gonna be interesting. Listen,
Shove the audio
they're on.
soundboard in there. cords and stuff in there. There's headphones if they want them. What's that?
Tell them who your best friends are.
All right, I guess I'll show you our somewhat friends here.
Hey,
Introduce yourselves.
I'm Jessica Renner. I am VP of Lake Cumberland Recovery, and I am almost 10 years of sobriety.
Woo!
Baby Adams.
Hey, how are you, man?
I'm all right, man.
Hit her up on YouTube. What's your YouTube handle?
Just at Baby Adams.
At Bambi Adams.
Yeah, don't run the same interview. That would be pretty funny.
That would be terrible.
Good night, Eric.
Yeah, you're not peeing, buddy.
Yeah, there's no fee.
My point score is so low,
Is it really?
Here we go.
I probably lower than anybody in the gym goal.
You're stuck here. Hey, everyone's been waiting for your interview for all day now.
I didn't come down here about 2 hours ago, told me it'd be 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Where's that?
They're all hyped for
Where's that sheet? Do we need that sheet or?
Oh, yeah,
I got it.
Oh, you got it? Oh, okay, cool.
Great job.
I just don't want
I ain't gonna hold nothing back.
anything to cover our ass. This is our new. We're all waiting for him. What's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. We're on live. Rooster. Rooster. This is the man of the hour right now. They're all waiting for you on live.
Yeah, you got a bunch of followers.
Yeah.
They're all boys.
Oh, they're all saying what a handsome man there. All the guys.
Oh,
I've heard that before.
It's okay. I was in prison too, so I had a rough time.
no, it goes,
I know how it goes.
Eric says, "What's up, Rooster?"
I'm pretty good, I guess.
Standing with his daddy, he says.
Alright, so you're gonna roll right over here, like on the corner. And then you don't wanna rock, you wanna kinda like lean forward.
Good.
Yeah, you can lean like maybe put your hands up against it, get comfortable, but you don't wanna rock back at all.
I won't get out of the frame.
Yeah, you don't wanna get out of the frame.
Come on, Nathan, you want everything you get.
Take a couple photos of you if you wanna just look directly at me, give me a nice serious rooster face.
Serious as it gets.
Yeah.
So we take these photos now, and then they go on the thumbnails
Right at this camera right here.
that you guys see when you click on the video on YouTube.
How many people you got watching?
47. Not too bad. I mean, it's been going for 3 hours now, so
Well, 700,000 will see this.
That's like the last time I went.
yeah, we're doing.
Yeah, so just get comfortable and then you want to lean forward, no leaning back.
No leaning back.
Yeah, otherwise security comes.
Yeah. Make it fancy and you get the
No leaning, no
Man,
rocking.
I'm only run off once.
You start leaning back, they're gonna think you're running, so that's why it's
All right.
important, you know?
Ian, don't start. I gotta set up a charger for this.
You'd think they'd have me in shackles and stuff. I was in work, I hold the record mark for like first degree robbery, first degree assault, first degree murder,
That's bad.
He was asking me if you talked a lot.
Probably had problems shutting me up.
That's exactly what we like to hear. You're off to a great start right now, Mr. Rooster.
Jessica, please go see Bob Bailey.
He's getting out. He's coming to us.
Fine.
Is he?
Yeah, he always does.
Listen, it's been a few Wednesdays.
Dalton says he loves you.
But I'll be back on track next week.
What's
You
mine
heard?
doing?
Dalton from Iowa.
Tell Dawn I said I love him.
Good, good.
He loves you, Dalton.
What are you gonna do when you get out?
I'm gonna do the same thing.
What's that?
I'm gonna become
PFO?
I'm gonna go, I'm gonna come and see y'all.
Good.
I'm pretty sure.
Rooster.
I thought he said he's gonna become a CO.
I know.
No.
Listen, you all do make the best drug hounds. I'm saying, once you get sober, it's like hiding spots and treatment.
Well, I'm telling you, if all I gotta do is get up there and tell stories about getting high and the bad parts and the good parts of it.
That's not it.
That's not it,
You gotta
but
work on why you do those things.
Well, I like to see people happy. I like to see people strung out. It's terrible. Once you get straight and you see people that's, it's bad. So where'd you do your time at, man?
I was in the feds.
I can tell that.
And guess what they all thought I was?
Huh?
Can you guess what they thought I was?
Do you really want me to say?
No, you can be honest.
What I thought you was?
Yeah.
I thought you was probably stealing a little bit of money or something.
Actually, that's a compliment. That's better than what I
Probably a
worked.
chomo or nothing like that.
That's what they called me, a chomo. The
You
first thing.
said at camp though, wasn't you?
Yeah, we could talk all about this when we're live. You can interview me, honestly, if you want.
I got you.
He'll flip it around on you.
You can flip it right around. We'll get to know each other.
This is gonna be good. Hey, listen, Rooster, I want you to promise me something.
That you'll
Do
leave.
not-
I can't make no promises.
No,
Tell everyone I promise
you can't say nothing bad about Broadcastle Jail.
I'll let him be
I
honest.
wouldn't say nothing bad
I know,
about
but
Daddy's house.
Nana, thank you, Nana.
All right, Rooster, you promise you'll lean forward for me? Get comfortable, lock in. Otherwise, we gotta get the
Sure you don't
duct
want me to
tape.
set this in my lab or
Oh
nothing?
no, you can move that like that. Yeah, that's good like that. Just so it
Is
doesn't
it
go out of
Renee
focus,
or
all right?
Reen?
Listen, wonder how about.
Why don't you sit up straight, look good on the camera? Yeah, there
Because
you
this
go.
thing's hurting my back.
Do you want us to get you
Yeah,
a better
get it.
chair?
Here.
We'll get you a
Oh,
sturdy
here, this
chair.
one.
Yeah.
This one's more.
We'll sub it out for
sturdy.
Rooster.
Get up.
There you go.
So
There you go.
Nana of 2 tipped you $5.
Thank you, Nana. We love you.
We got-
All right. Rooster,
Yes, sir.
no leaning back, please.
Stay close.
Come
If
on,
you're gonna
you
be
got
this
one
good, stay
job.
close to the
More like
mic.
court
You
every
got
day.
one job, Rooster. No leaning back.
We'll be here all night.
Squeaky chair, you sure you wanna use that one?
Yeah, he just
Yeah,
can't move.
this is just the YouTube live.
Pretend you're on meds, Rooster, like this. You know when
On
you're
meds?
getting on the camera?
You say like pretend like I'm on meds?
You know where you stay still?
Rooster, can I take
Yeah,
a
it's
picture right
it's
there?
the audio on the phone.
You want my good
Renee.
side or my bad side?
Right there.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
No squeaks.
I can't sit still, we know that.
We need a new chair.
Oh my God! Oh man! Technical difficulties.
Poor Rooster. Oh man. All right, let's see how it looks. You good?
There you go.
All right, get the duct tape. Sorry, we want to make sure you look good.
I always look good. I'm the best looking redhead dude around.
We're good, Matt? Yeah. All right, Mr. Rooster, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Why did they call you Rooster?
Well, I thought, my papa fought me like a chicken when I was little. And I played with a lot of chickens and stuff like that. I don't know, I guess because I'm redheaded.
Well, we can't really see you. You got the hat on.
I know because half of it's gone. Just like keep my hat on.
So, what's your full name for the audience?
Jeremy Matthew Holt.
Did you ever think you'd be doing a podcast while you're actually in the jail right now?
Never. It's until what this guy have you doing over there.
He was on the show. He was in the hot seat. I asked him the tough questions.
I know, he comes down there crying about it. Should've got done with mine interview.
Is there ever a question that you want asked to a jailer before? Like that you want the world to ask?
To a jailer?
Yeah, to a jailer.
Just when do I get out?
That's funny. You know, he said that you were the right man to do this interview because you are a great talker and you have a great nickname.
Thank you.
So, a little bit about the show that you're on. It's called Locked In.
Once I vote. Am I gonna make any money off of it?
No, there's
You
no
lied to me,
money
Daddy.
involved.
You lied to me.
What did he promise you?
I ain't gonna tell you that.
Oh, okay. I heard he gets you guys good food on Fridays or every
We're
other
still
Friday.
bragging about that stuff.
What, they cut it?
Once a week. Once every other week, ain't it?
Wait, what's the best meal you've gotten on a Friday here?
Baconators.
From Wendy's, right?
Yeah, we're kinda strung out on them down there.
It is really cool because you know in the feds we didn't have that.
In the feds, you got a lot of stuff.
Okay, what do you let's compare misconceptions. What do you think that we have that you don't?
Well, in the feds,
Mhm.
y'all got a lot better food, a lot better facilities. I mean, unless you're in a USP or a medium or something like that. You was in a camp, right?
I was at a low first. That's where they all thought I was a chum.
Did you go to Atlanta or anywhere like that, or
I went
Terre
through.
Haute?
No, I didn't go through there. I was in New Jersey, Fort Dix, and then I was in Oklahoma City. That's a little bit kind of near here, right? And then I was in Chicago, and then I was in Oxford, Wisconsin.
Why did I bounce around so much?
variety of reasons, not because of paperwork, it's straight, don't
I
worry.
didn't swear no papers or nothing.
I actually went to trial, but the first
In the
place,
feds?
yeah,
How
I
much
was
time
out to
did you get?
trial, 3
A
years.
bunch?
I got less time going to trial than I did the plea deal that they were offering. They offered like almost 5.
Yeah, but they go by guidelines, severity of crime and past offenses.
Yeah, but when you go to trial and lose, they up the ante
Yeah,
on you.
but by guidelines, they can't, because if, I've been locked up with a lot of people doing fed time, and if you ain't had no priors or nothing like that, you can rob a bank and get hardly nothing.
Yeah.
I'm doing 10 years right now for a truck with the keys in it.
A truck with the keys?
Yes, sir.
You stole the keys.
No, I stole the truck. It just had keys in it.
We'll get to that part, but yeah, I got caught with a cell phone in the feds, and then I dated a guard's cousin, and that was a conflict of interest at the next prison I was at.
Right.
And then they kind of shipped me all over diesel therapy.
Yeah, I've heard that. You don't even get to stay with, catch your mail or nothing, do you?
Yeah, well, so you're the first person I've sat down with that actually gave me a little bit of credit. I said, what do you think I was in prison? You said a fraud guy, but most of the time they do say I'm a chomo.
That's a bad label right there.
It's the glasses and the cheeks, the red cheeks, and
You look like you're about 18 anyway.
I'm 29.
Are you?
How old are you?
Me too.
Oh, you're 29?
Oh, I got 20 on you.
So you're 49.
Yeah.
You look good for 49, Rooster. Minus the hair. So did you grow up in Kentucky?
Yeah, I was born in Dayton, Ohio, and all my family's from here. I come down here when I was about 8 and been in prison ever since.
Why did you guys move from Ohio to here?
I just come down here because I loved it. I mean, I've always been, it's all I ever want to do, stay in the woods and stuff like that. Ohio, I was born up there, and I get up there and I can't stand it. I left $30 an hour to come down here and fish and go back to prison. And I'm happier right now than I was up there.
Well, it's a little bit warmer here than Ohio too, right? Yeah. And did you have a big family, like mom, dad, siblings?
Yeah, I had a big family. And when my papa sort of run it, and when he died, they just all went crazy. Now, I can cuss on here
Yeah,
now.
of course you can cuss.
As
As long as security is okay with that.
Yeah, he ain't gonna say nothing.
What did your parents do for work?
Sold dope.
And they were addicts as well?
Not really. My mom was just crazy, you know. She didn't do much dope. And my dad, he just smoked a lot of weed.
And what about your siblings? Were you close with them?
One of them I was. And I got 2 sisters. And I ain't too close with them no more. I had a stepdad that raised me, was my dad's best friend. And he got with my mom when I was about 8. And he worked his whole life and stuff. He's a functional alcoholic. He worked every day and drank every day. And when he died, it just went bad with me and her. And I ain't losing no sleep over it, nothing like that.
Do you think that, looking back on it now, having time to reflect, do you think that caused a big impact on your life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If they'd have busted my ass when I was a kid, I'd have never been in there.
So do you wish that they were a little bit stricter with you?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you might not have learned the same things you're currently learning had that not happened either, on the flip side of it.
Well, I've learned a lot, but I'd have rather been, I'm not ashamed of nothing I've ever done, or I'm not, down in my family, that was all, but I wish I'd been made mind a little bit, not let run all wild, and I'd have been something. I wish I went to the military.
Was that your childhood dream growing up, that you wanted to go to the military?
No, I want to sell dope.
From an
It just took me
early...
till I was about 48 to grow up.
So why, at that age, did you want to get into that? Is that strictly...
That's all I ever seen.
Okay.
That's all I ever know, I was just raised around not bad people, they was all loving and stuff like that. They was just criminals. What you call a criminal, I don't know. Just hustling.
How important do you think it is, the childhood, on your later years, looking back on it now?
It's very important what a child sees, I think. It's very important what they, what they're around, what their environment is and stuff. Children are everything, You should go, they're the future, so, what a child sees, on me it was very, that's what I wanted. What I seen and what I grew up around, that's always what I wanted to be. But until I got older, I realized that wasn't a smart move, I'd say.
When you were a kid, did you look at other kids and say like, I wish I had that family, I wish I was more?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Was that hard on you?
Yeah, yeah, sure was. But I'm like, I don't know, I cling to people that I don't like too many people, you know what I mean? It's like a certain type of people, but I cling on to them when I do, you know? And just sometimes you don't always get what you put into people back, and it took me a long time to realize that.
How would people describe you back then when you were a young kid?
Just mean. Not mean. I mean, I thought my name was Don't Son until I was 12-year-old. That's all I ever heard was Don't Son, Don't. You know, my papa was a little redheaded bastard or something like that. Yeah.
So did you ever try drugs at an early age, or you just got right into selling?
I was about 16, I started smoking weed. And there's nothing, I've always been for weed, you know what I mean? But if you start with one thing, it's just gonna lead to other things, you know? You just get curious, and I did. But it took me a long time before I got on the hard stuff, like the pain pills and stuff like that. And that stuff really gets a hold of people. It's ruined this whole state, the pain pills did. You never heard of people telling on nobody or nothing like that until them pain pills come around. And now it's terrible. I mean, you got this shit they call meth now. And it's bad on people, it really is. It really is.
Do you think if you could go back in time and not smoke that weed, you would?
Probably not, I probably smoke the weed still.
But you maybe would have wished that it didn't bring you down the path that it did.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, we can't change our lives. I wouldn't go back and change it if I could. But there's just a lot of things in this life, you know, the drugs and the jail and stuff. When I get done with this one, I'll have 20 years almost flat in. And I wasted my whole life doing nothing except laying in these places. And I'm not a bad person. Next question.
I like your Rooster.
Thank you.
But you still, you know, that's something to touch on right there, you know, and this is something that they were saying earlier at the pre-trial thing, or at the pre-release program that they run here, is that, you know, you might have spent all of those years before you in prison, but you still have so much ahead of you as well, and you can do something with that.
Yeah, they ought to build statues of them people right there, for real, because I've known Jessica and I know her husband, and them people are really doing good things. And it makes people like me, because they come from the same environment, you know, the stuff that I've done, and they really do make a difference. They really do, and you can see it in them that they really do enjoy doing what they do. It's really like, what prison has done to me, it's made me a perfect judge of character, I think. And you can see that it just makes these people happy. I mean, it makes them happy, and they do real good things. They really do. And I ain't just saying that because they're sitting there, I'm straightforward, not say bullshit if it wasn't, but them people really do good things.
Do you trust them more because they were in your shoes before?
Absolutely, absolutely. I done SAP, and that's one of my big, if you ever heard of SAP, it's terrible. And I done it at the rodent farm. And there were people coming there all the time, and they tell me about my drug addiction. And the first thing I would ask them would be, have you ever been strung out on heroin? Or obviously, you know, no. And I said, well, how the hell can you sit there and tell me about what I'm going through, what I'm doing, you know what I mean, how I'm supposed to get over this? And you don't want to hear it, and I don't care what anybody says. 90% of the people, you know, will tell you the same thing that's in that shit. I don't want to hear from somebody that's read it from a book. I want to hear from somebody that's lived it. And I know they've lived it, and I see what it's done for them, and it really does. It really does motivate me to want to do something like that. You notice how I use that big word, motivate, like Kool-Aid man?
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Did you make it through high school? Did you graduate?
No, I didn't know how to spell my middle name until I got married. My middle name is Matthew. You know how I spelled it?
How'd you spell it?
M-A-T-H-Y-O-U.
Mathyu.
Yeah,
Matthew. It's close. You were off by a
It worked.
couple letters.
Yeah.
So, no high school, no college, I'm assuming, unless there was anything in
Absolutely
prison. When was the first time you ever got arrested?
18. I had 28 counts of grand theft auto when I was a child, when I was young, 14-year-old. And juvenile. And then I turned 18 in the drunk tank down there.
In this very building? So why cars? What was it about cars for you?
It was just, I don't know, being young and can drive. And it was kind of an addiction too. I would collect the gears out of the, when we tore the column out, I'd collect the gears out of them. And I'd hang them on coat hangers in my closet. I had closets full of them. I'd still want to drive it so I could see another one that I could steal and I'd park in, steal it.
And this was after you would steal the car and drive it to wherever you would pull out the gear as like a souvenir?
I just, as soon as it comes out, I put it in my pocket. And now I got caught at 28 in my pocket.
Where do you think you developed that habit from? Like, what was the first instant? Because I don't think video games were around back then, like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, mine too.
Well, no, this is what, 30-something years ago, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Was there Grand Theft Auto back
No,
then? Yeah.
Nintendo.
Nintendo. So where? I mean, unless you got it from Mario Kart, but
It was just, I don't know. It's hard to say. Just being a kid and can drive and new cars. We get them and play Crash Up Derby. And we hardly sold any of them. We just doing it to do it.
what was something that could have changed that first time you got arrested that could have, not got you sent to prison? Was there someone or something that could have helped you?
Yeah,
At
they
that point.
beat my ass when I got home. I'd have been all right. I wouldn't have done it no more. But I didn't have bad parents. They just wasn't. They wasn't much on discipline.
Do you think moving out here affected it?
No, moving out here helped me. Down here.
Sorry, I'm bad with my locations, my geography, you could say. So you get arrested that first time, then what happens? Do you go to prison?
I go juvenile. And then I go back a couple more times for assaults or stuff like that. And I come down here and when I got down here, I went to high school. And I wasn't in high school probably a couple months, and the principal called me to the office, Mr. Cash, and he told me that he received a call that I was a known auto theft. That they had to watch me. And I've always had like a button. I call it a fuck it button. They done fuck it. I'll just go all over, so I don't know. Once I got down here, I dressed a little different, talked a little different. I don't know. I moved up the food chain pretty quick, I'd say. Down here, it was just easy. I love it. I love Kentucky. Livingston's my home, and that's where, I don't feel nowhere else. I don't feel no homer than right there. I just love Kentucky, all except the prison parts.
Have you been in a lot of prisons in
Yeah,
Kentucky?
all of them except two.
All the main ones, like the
Yeah.
state ones? What was the first one you went to?
LaGrange. You go through LaGrange when you get sent to prison, and then they send you. If you stay at LaGrange, you're usually a really terrible person on some bad charges. But they send you out to other prisons, North Point, Little Sandy, Eastern, Eddyville, Green River, all that stuff. Prisons in Kentucky ain't that bad.
Was it tough to navigate them at that young age in your 20s?
It wasn't for me. I've seen it for people that it was, and I ain't saying that I'm nothing special or nothing, but it wasn't ever a problem for me. Prison wasn't. Just go along, don't get in no trouble, just gotta be kind of, I guess, smart, know what to stay away from, but you see them in there, and I've seen people go in with 5 years and end up with 35 years on this bullshit.
Do you think going to prison that first time and the first few times contributed to, continuing a criminal type lifestyle?
What, like learning shit in prison? And no.
You said something earlier about how like people in the feds, you know, like they can get a few years like their first time, and I'd seen guys that would commit bank robberies with guns, and then they'd learn from the guys that just did it by passing.
Absolutely, you hear all kinds of that. You know, you pick up pointers and stuff like that, but it's just if it's your thing, you know. But you're in a whole different class of criminal with feds and state, and you know that because you was at federal prison, right? Yeah, it's a whole different. You got a bunch of lower end criminals. You know, you see a lot of people that's in the feds. It's a higher class criminal than it is in the state. In Kentucky, state time ain't too bad. I mean, what do you do in the feds? How much time do you do on a year?
I think you do less or no more than a state charge. It's like 85%. They give you good time. So on a 36-month sentence, I did like 28 months with halfway house.
That's pretty good.
But some they don't have parole in the feds anymore.
No.
So in the state, there's parole.
Yeah, I made it twice.
It's a parole.
Yeah.
What was that like going to parole the first time?
I don't know, I only made it about a month before I was on the run.
Wait, you went on the run after?
I was gone. I can't do parole. It's hard. If you ain't got no kind of support system when you get out of prison and you live like places I do, or they send you these halfway houses in Louisville, which I will not do at all. It's just hard for me it was, because I don't like to ask nobody for help, and getting from point A to point B and all that stuff, it just gets, to me, it gets aggravating, and I just weigh it out. I can just go back and do this much and be done with it, or I can't. I mean, when I absconded this time, I had it made. I was at a halfway house, my buddy was running it, and everything else, and I just couldn't do it.
Do you feel like if there was better resources from
Yeah,
the system?
but there is now. I mean, you got a lot of, they're a lot better. When I first started doing time in Kentucky, like you get a dirty urine now, and you get what they call a sanction and stuff like that. And hell, you'll see them coming out 5 or 6 times. They'll leave rehab and stuff like that. When I started doing this, if you got a dirty piss test, you was smoked. You was going back to prison. I just had my son, and I got a dirty urine on a 3-year sentence here, and I went back up in front of the judge for it, and I asked for rehab. That's been 20-some years ago, and they told me, look, we're gonna give you the best rehab we can give you, Mr. Holt. They sent me back to prison.
And that's not what you needed.
No.
Do you think if you were placed in a facility like this 20 years ago, it would have been a different outcome? You might not be here.
I was in this facility 20 years.
Oh, so it's not like how it is now.
This is the county. No, it's better now. I mean, just the facility has changed a lot too, but it's the court system. It's always, you know, back then there was a lot more harder on it. And now you got, like I said, you got these sanctions, 10 days, 20 days. And they send you to these rehabs and stuff. And yeah, it'd been a lot better on me if they had that back then.
So here's a question though, if 20 years ago they did give you that second chance and sent you to rehab, do you think you would have genuinely gotten clean?
Probably not. You know, I ain't gonna lie. But I've thought about it a lot harder. Maybe.
And what about now? Are you clean now?
Absolutely.
What did it finally take for you to get clean?
You get tired of it after a while. Look, I don't care what anybody says. When people tell you that, this is what I always hated, and this is from SAP, everybody. Once, don't ever believe, to me, I hate to hear when you've been an addict. Once an addict, always an addict. That's not what somebody wants to hear. It's not what I want to hear. I want to get rid of that title, you know what I mean? You just get tired of it after you've been on the shit that I've been on, and I rob pharmacies, allegedly. So, if once you've been, and I've been on it all, Oxycontin, morphine, methadone, heroin, all that shit at once, stupid habits. Once you get to a point in your life to where you're done, you can't even enjoy the buzz no more because you've done robbed everybody you can rob, or bummed all the money off of your family that you bummed, that you all you can think about. For me, it was when I get high, I couldn't even enjoy it because I was thinking, damn, what am I gonna do tomorrow? You know what I mean? How am I gonna come back and I'm gonna be sick? And the best thing, and I've been to no, I ain't never been to rehab, I'll take that back. But I think the best rehab, the best way of getting off dope, for me it was they put me down there in them cells and just let me go through it, you know? Because in my mind, I know that I couldn't get back out to get it, you know? And just let them get us sick. I mean, coming off Suboxones was the sickest I ever been in my life. And it ruined me from, I'll never do that shit like that. Never be that sick again.
So how do you feel about the individuals that do continue to try to bring drugs into prison and try to, you know, kind of, you know, put blackness really onto people? That
You're
are
your own person. You make your own choices. I ain't gonna knock nobody for what they do. You know, they gotta learn their lessons too. You know, you can make your own choices. I believe your life's just laid out the path, and if you know, everybody's got their own path, and they gotta learn from it. So, you know, people bringing dope to prison, it's just gonna happen no matter what. You know, that's never gonna get out of it.
Do you ever look at the decisions you made as an addict and say, like, I'm glad I'm not that person anymore? And
I'm never really a bad person, but in the addict thing, to me, there's certain people got a line in their life, you know, a line that I would never cross, the things I wouldn't do, you know what I mean? To me, it make myself look bad if I was to do this. Like, I never stole from my family, I never robbed friends, I never went out and done shit that I would think, damn, that was terrible to do. You know, I kind of had a little bit of hustle and a little bit of connect that I could. But now I've seen people do some pretty silly shit for nothing, you know, their whole life gone. For nothing. To me, it was nothing.
do you feel like you did something for nothing, looking at it?
Something for nothing. Everything, I've been guilty of everything I've ever done, except once.
Except for the pharmacies.
What? Allegedly.
Not the pharmacies.
But I just, like on that subject right there, you know, I'd rather, if I was gonna allegedly do something like that, to me, it would be better to do the pharmacy than it would go out here and hurt somebody, you know? So I just would always wait it out. What I tell people to do before you start thinking about doing any stupid shit is just take a couple minutes to think about it. You know, I mean, before you go out here and you want to rob something or you're going to get high, just sit back and think. Like this fentanyl shit, that shit's terrible, man. I can't sit here and count the people that I know, people that I was close to that's dying off that fentanyl shit. It seems like to me now that I got older, that if I just sit back and I think of what, you know, what could happen or what I've been through from a previous experience, that you'll not do it. You know, I mean, you'll think a lot harder about doing it for sure. If you're not, you're eat up with the dumbass. I mean, you're destined for that life.
What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about you?
They mean,
Yeah.
I'm really not this good looking.
Okay. What about, you know, law enforcement, judges, probation officers?
What my opinion of them?
No, what do you think that they?
Oh man,
yeah.
look, I've got. You ever seen the movie Road Out? I swear on this. I had a cop beating my head off the back of a trunk one time, and he asked me what my name was, and I told him, and I swear he said, "I thought you'd be bigger." And I got arrested this time, and the cop that got me this time told me I didn't live up to all the hype.
But you didn't live up to the hype.
I didn't live up. I got a bad rap.
So if you run into a law enforcement officer on the street and we asked about Rooster, what would they say about you?
Oh Lord.
What's the elevator pitch?
That I used to fight a lot, but I've been accused of everything, you know, except really bad stuff. They just tell you I was probably wild, and I'm not. I treat people how I want to be treated, and how people treat me is how I treat them. So, you know, down here, a lot of problems with the police down here is it's like on Friday. You remember when Day got top flight, everybody's suspect. As soon as they pull you over, you're guilty for something, you know what I mean? They're on you for something. And if you get this stigmatism, that's something to do with you get this type to where you've been labeled something, you know what I mean? So when they pull you over, you're instantly labeled, and they don't get off that. So, but the world needs law. If we didn't have police and shit like that, it would be truly a bad place. It would be. I don't got no problems with law enforcement and stuff like that. I just try to stay away from them because I'm labeled.
Do you envision a world where you won't be labeled like that once you get out?
No, not here. I'll always be labeled here.
But you want to stay here?
I'll stay here till I'll die here.
But do you think that you'll run into more problems, or do you think that it's going to be different?
No,
Why do you think that?
because I learned to keep my mouth shut and not talk bad to them or try to fight with them. All you get out of fighting with the police is beat up and put in prison.
That's a very fair answer, Rooster.
I've been there.
So this sentence you're serving now, when did you get sentenced?
I got sentenced in 2019, August 2019.
To 10 years in prison?
Yeah.
And you're serving the whole sentence here?
No, I got it in Paducah. I was at a halfway house when I called it. I left the halfway house over there and got 10 years for a truck with keys in it, and then promoting contraband and tampering physical evidence, and they never took no drugs off of me.
Promoting contraband where? In prison?
Yeah.
At a different facility? Oh. So they hit you with multiple charges after you got caught with the truck?
Yeah.
So why the truck?
I had to get back here.
So
And I
you,
was in Paducah, and if I could have found a sign that said Lexington or Richmond, I'd have probably come on back, but they all fucking said Missouri and Mississippi and shit like that. And I drove it 7 miles and parked it.
what about a bus or a train? Nothing?
I just kind of wasn't thinking. Xanaxes.
So how did you pick this truck out? Was it just parked on the side of the road?
Yeah, it was the only one that had keys in it.
And it was unlocked?
Yeah.
And you just hopped in it and took a drive?
Yeah.
So how did they catch you?
Well, I parked the truck. I was working for a guy at this halfway house, and I went and seen him. And I had the truck with me. And then I kind of sold it up a little bit, and I thought, well, I don't want to try it. I got to thinking I didn't want to, high-speed chase or nothing like that, and that's for real. So I just parked the truck and left. And I got caught later on that night. And the detectives were really thorough down there in Paducah, but he ended up telling on me and shit, and they got me.
So now you're here.
Yeah, here.
How long will you be in this facility for?
I'll go back up for parole in April.
Oh, so you're not doing the full 10 years if you get parole.
I'll probably be done with it when I go back up for parole anyways. I only got a year left.
Now, you said that you're against parole. You don't think you could do it. Do you think you could do it this time?
Yeah, if that button don't jump up, you know what I mean? Yeah, I can do it this time.
How do you control the button? Because I'm sure
It's
there's
hard.
people-
It's hard. It really is. It's kind of hard. But I'm working on it. Trying to. But I don't want to be back in these places. I don't want to die in these places because I know that I ain't got no family left, and I ain't singing old sad song shit. That if I was to die in one of these places, they would take me back to LaGrange and bury me on a fucking hill we call Chicken Hill with a bunch of child molesters and shit, and I don't want to be that.
That's very powerful.
Thank you.
Now, people are fascinated with individuals that are incarcerated, the prison life,
They got no
criminal
life,
justice
do they?
system. You know, that's what creates shows like 60 Days In and
I
all
can't
that.
watch that shit. That's so.
So when I was in the feds, guys loved watching prison shows about people in prison. Do you guys do that here?
Not myself.
You
Like
don't-
the
you don't allow
Shawshank
that?
Redemption, I'll fight before we put that shit back on TV.
What do you, have you come across individuals that do
Yeah,
watch that?
a lot of them, I'll watch all the murder, all that shit. I don't like it. I've lived it for so long, I don't wanna watch the shit. And then plus, once you're in it and you see this shit on TV and you know it's fake, you know, I mean, so it's just, or maybe it's just me, but a lot of them live for it. I mean, oh, we wanna watch 60 Days In.
How do you feel about 60 Days In?
I think it's a joke. I think it's a joke.
What are the biggest things about it that you think are fake?
Is how much the camera's on them, and they're supposed to be in their secret, you know. Anywhere I've ever been, you're in there talking to the cameras and shit like that, but they're gonna stomp you out or something, you know what I mean? You're telling on somebody.
Would you ever go on a show in like 60 Days In?
Never would I.
What if they offered you like 60 grand to do it for 60 days?
60 grand for 60 days.
That's what they offer.
I'm in. I'm in, yeah.
So if they tell you to say snitch around and
Never would I, no.
then you don't get the 60 grand.
Well, I'll still bad myself. That telling shit's bad. Because if you do something, and I'm not just saying that to be, that's just how I am and how I was raised. If you do something, know that there's consequences that come along with breaking the law. What you're gonna do if you get caught. You don't need to bring another person down and tell on somebody, you know, to get out of your trouble. That's bottom feeder shit. And it's not good, man. I mean, but now they say you see a lot of people doing it.
Now in a facility like this, is there like paperwork politics and stuff like that or no?
Not like there is in the feds, but you get people that's labeled. You got cells where people can't go in other cells and shit like that.
What are some rules that, are enforced among the inmates that are common?
Here?
Yeah, that's not necessarily a facility rule, but that you guys make amongst yourselves.
Well, that you just don't get nobody else's business. It varies, you know. I mean, it's just if you're locked up with a bunch of these younger kids and shit, it just varies. It's just kind of like however you hold yourself. You know not to fuck with nobody's shit or get nobody else's business or don't tell on nobody or nothing. You know, and it's just common sense to me. You know, but you see them, you can't do it. But then you'll see them, they'll come in and they'll say, "That's something stole on me," and then 2 months later they'll be living with them, sharing noodles with them and shit. So I mean.
On the topic of noodles, how is the food here? What do you think about that?
It's great.
I asked him the same question.
It's great.
I told him the truth.
He told me the truth.
The food has really went downhill. I mean, it has. Not that but you gotta figure, I was used to this jail when we got biscuits and gravy. I mean, really good food. I mean, home cooked food. Now we get this shit. What is it called? Kedwell? Yeah, did you hear I said, yeah, look at me.
Like,
Sure he's gonna whoop me when we get back downstairs.
no, something I found interesting, Nate was telling me that he comes in and eats with you guys.
He does.
Have you ever seen that anywhere else? Because I haven't.
Yeah, a lot of these littler jails, yeah.
What do you think about that from an inmate's perspective?
What?
The jailer, the warden, coming in to eat with you?
Well, it ain't like he sits down at the table with us or nothing like that, you know, I mean, he eats the same food.
Yeah.
But in these littler jails, you see, everybody, we all know Nathan, I grew up with, and in these littler counties like this, it's great, you know what I mean, it's a lot laid back, but yeah, he used to walk through the jail a lot. I believe he's got a little spook now.
What's something you want, correctional officers, prison guards, wardens, jailers to know about inmates that they don't necessarily know?
Quit treating us like shit, you know what I mean? You'll see some of them come in and they're just always on some super cop shit. Always going out of their way trying to get you knocked off and want to talk bad to you or something like that. And I'm big on not being, trying to belittle me. I get in trouble all the time. How many jobs have I been fired from already? So, but I just treat us like we're something, you know what I mean? It's that super cop shit, you know what I mean? They just always looking for something. You know, if you want to, my suggestion to these people that's wanting to work in corrections is just, you know, I mean, it ain't, just go along and get along, you know? If people do something in front of you to get in trouble, then that you gotta expect you get in trouble, but you see people coming in like searching just for mats, and just, it's crazy.
Do you think there needs to be a fair balance though? Like they do have to do their
And
job.
we're,
at the same
I
time?
understand. Well, there ain't no fair when you're in jail. It's their rules, you know what I mean? And it took me a long time to live with that. But you're not out on the street, so you're locked up, so you know that if more people would see that, I've done a lot better time just realizing, well, fuck, you're not at home, you know what I mean? This is what comes along with it. It took me a long time to figure that one out.
What's a rule that you find unfair about the prison system? Or it could be multiple rules.
I don't know. It just depends on like where you, like in the jail down here. We got it pretty good down there. I ain't gonna lie. We got it pretty good. But in other jails, you get, you know, the lights on all the time. You know, when you're in jail, everybody wants to sleep. You try to sleep your time away. You know, the lights on and shit like that. And just, hell, you're in jail. You know, clothes, you know, shoes, stuff like that.
What's a day in the life for you like now when you're not doing a podcast? What's a typical day?
Day in life for me, I watch a lot of fishing shows.
What time do you wake up in the morning? And are you forced to wake up at a
Well,
certain
when I
time?
work, I usually get up about 4:30. But now, since I've been fired from these other jobs, I work third shifts.
Where did you work and why did you get fired?
On the first time, you want me to tell that whole story? The first time I got fired was because we come in early because they made us walk about 3 miles for nothing, and I got kind of mad. They found some cigarettes in the van, and I claimed the cigarettes. They told me I couldn't go back out with that crew. So the next one, the guy I work for, he was the next. He'd been in here too, and been in prison. So, and I'm not. He just wanted to talk to me bad, you know. I mean, he wanted to try to belittle me, and I know that he ain't that caliber of guy to be. It's not that I'm not special, but I'm a lot more special than that motherfucker. And he ain't gonna talk to me like that for real. And I just talk bad back to him. And right now, I really wish I hadn't. But
What kind of jobs are these?
I just use a chainsaw to mow a lot of grass. Had it made, really had the best job there was.
This is out of the grounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Like working for the city and whatnot?
Oh yeah, we work for the county.
Okay.
I'm community custody. I'm about as violent as a box of birthday cards.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, I mean, and
So now it's third shift, but you said you still have a job though.
I do a lot of laundry, pick up a lot of trays.
And that's in the facility?
Yeah.
How much do you get paid for these jobs?
I could get what, 63 cents a day or something.
There is, yeah.
I was in jail a bunch of money from way back, so I don't ever even see it anyway.
So they take it away from you?
Yeah.
So how do you make money to support yourself? Buy commissary, anything like that?
I got good family. I got a good brother. A lot of people like me. I don't know why, but
You're a likable guy,
Thank
Rooster.
you.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Now, what's your favorite commissary? What do you like to get from there?
Pops. I like Pops Mountain Dews.
Oh, soda? Soda Mountain Dew?
Yeah. Soda. See, why do you call it that?
We call it soda in Connecticut.
Is that where you're from, Connecticut?
Yeah, I live in Connecticut. I came all the way just to meet you, Rooster.
I don't believe all that, but
That's
sounds
the only reason
that
why I came
aggravates
out
me.
here. I came for you.
Sodas.
You know, I interviewed all of them on the show yesterday.
I heard Nathan, he was crying about it earlier.
Yep, I interviewed everyone.
Was he nervous up here?
I don't know who was more nervous, you or him. You know?
I ain't nervous. I mean, you can talk more than me.
Your jaw's bouncing a lot.
Yeah.
I'm froze to death right here. I'm telling you.
It is a little chilly
It
in here.
is. See?
How do you feel about the air conditioning inside?
It's not been working that much downstairs.
Oh, here it hasn't been working? What about in some prisons, like it's freezing in like the shoe or solitary or anything like that? Have you ever been in there?
Yeah, I was in KSR's hole down there, and the windows busted out. And in the wintertime, the toilets would freeze up. It'd be so cold in there.
Did you ever like take the toothpaste on the toilet paper and put it over the vents or anything like that?
Yeah.
We used to do that all the time, like the little spitballs and plug it all in.
Yeah.
Then they'd come in and raid the cell and they weren't happy with it.
So once you're in there, they really can't take nothing from you. But yeah, I always just, like, I got out of Long John's and stuff to come up here. He'd come down there at 2 o'clock and told me, I'll be down there, I'll be back to get you in 15 minutes. So I done went back to bed.
You know what they say, you got nothing but time.
I know. According to him, I'm getting short.
You're getting short, yeah. What is it, 6 months to the gate?
Out to the parole board then, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a year left.
Are you nervous for the parole board?
No. I told them to serve me out, and they only flopped me a year.
Do you plan on speaking
Wait a minute.
at the parole board? Can you say
No.
something? Do you have an attorney present during
No.
that? So who goes with you?
No,
Oh, you don't, it's not like in the movie, I've never been.
no,
to
I won't
parole.
even see them.
Oh,
They'll just send, if you ain't class B felony now, you don't even see the parole board.
okay.
They do a review. I'd have seen them if I'd have come back, and when I come back on PV. I didn't even go see them then, they just sent it through the mail.
Now, what about hustles? Have you ever had a hustle in prison?
No.
You've never done anything?
No.
I was the cheesecake man. You don't have to give any
See there,
secrets.
Vegas, we're just, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm sure you can make cheesecakes here.
No.
Do you have coffee creamer on commissary?
See, that's all that culinary arts shit. Not a big word. You gotta use that one.
Culinary arts is not a big word.
To me it is.
You've never had a hustle all the years you've been in? Nothing.
That I want to talk about, you know.
We're saying a legal hustle, you know?
Well,
Doing some laundry for someone, doing.
I ain't doing nobody's laundry. That ain't no way.
How does laundry work here?
Well, I do their laundry
You
now.
are a laundry. Did you just say you won't do anyone's laundry?
Do laundry no. Yeah. The laundry here, that's just, back there we get khakis and shit like this. But the other ones, they get either blue or reds. We just throw it in the washer.
What about haircuts?
Oh, God, I don't know what
What's
it's whoever can cut hair in the cell, and trust me, everybody down there can say they can cut hair, and they can't cut hair for shit.
Do you get like buzzer? Like how does it work?
Clippers, we got some clippers. Been in here for about 15 years.
So no razor, just the clippers.
We get some razors at night, but yeah,
Oh, so you got the clippers, and it's a free for all.
that's it right there. You said it. Looks like they cut it with a match when you get done with it.
Is that why you're wearing the hat right now?
No, I'm going in. That's
Oh, okay.
all right.
Yeah, the Rooster's losing his mane.
Yeah, it's going.
What are some like creative things you guys have like made in prison?
I've seen all kinds of shit made in prison.
What's the most creative you've made?
I've seen gun cabinets made with guns in them, and the bolts work, the slides, everything, out of popsicle sticks, motorcycles. I mean, some of the shit I've seen people make in prison amazes me. There's a lot of wasted talent in prison. And some of the best people I've ever met in my life has been in prison and never getting out.
What do you want the world to know about those individuals that you meet and that you say are the best people in your life?
Well, not the best people in my life, but some of the
No,
best
like
people
that,
I've
yeah,
met.
Of course.
Is that just cause somebody, to me, as long as you ain't out here molesting kids and raping women and just killing people hideously, they shouldn't put them away for the rest of their, you know what I mean? People can get better, and I think, but I ain't nobody, but they just shouldn't, they should take a look at them, you know what I mean? Because, just because somebody's fucked up once in their life, you know, and you might fucked up bad, you might kill somebody or something like that, but there's always a reason, you know, the circumstances of shit happening, and a lot of people, they don't see that in it, you know what I mean? I just think that they should look at it a whole lot different, a whole lot of things. But if you rape children and stuff like that, I think they ought to shoot you in the face.
Do you feel like you've gotten better as you near the end of your sentence?
Got better at what?
In life, as a person, as an individual?
Yeah. Yeah, it took me 48 years to grow up.
And do you feel like you're officially grown up now?
Almost.
What's missing?
I don't know, I still like to fish a lot, shit like that. So.
Do you have kids?
Yeah, I got one.
How hard has it been raising a kid from?
I ain't raised him at all. I've been a terrible father. I went to prison when he was 9 months old. He's 23 now. Great kid. A Marine. Perfect. He don't fuck with me. And I love him more than anything in this world. And biggest regret in my life. And the best thing that ever happened to me was that kid. And best kid in the world. And I ain't seen him since his 15th birthday. And he's embarrassed of me, and I can't blame him. You know what I mean? And I'll die for him in a minute. I just like to be part of his life, but I can understand where he's coming from. And, but he's perfect in every way.
Do you have a plan to make amends with him when you get out?
I'd like to, but what can I? 23 years, what can I say? You know, should have been a terrible father, and that's one thing I always did not want to be labeled. All my worst fears have come true while I've been in prison. Wife dying, not having a relationship with my kid, shit like that. You know, I know I'm an embarrassment to him because he's real straight-laced, a Marine, and all that shit. And I don't want to embarrass him. You know what I mean?
What advice would you give to an individual who, is just having a kid and is making wrong choices in their life and are finding themselves incarcerated? What would you say to them?
You don't want to be this guy. You don't want to be going down the road, and you don't want to be, because it's terrible. It's the worst hurt you can ever feel. I mean, you should always be there for your kid. Always. You don't want to feel the way, the things, I know the way I feel about it, because it makes me, I always thought I could never be beat. There would never be nothing beat me at being a father, and I let it beat me. And it's terrible. Don't do it. Spend as much time with your kids. Do everything you can for your kids. Stay in their life.
What are the biggest life lessons you've learned throughout your journey?
My biggest life lessons is I've wasted mine. Just think before you do shit, man. You know what I mean? I always my papa, if I'd have listened to my papa and my dad, I'd have never been in trouble. And everything they ever told me that I would regret, I regret. Just listen to people that love you, and don't be hard-headed. And this ain't no life to be. I mean, for me, all my years of getting in trouble, when I kind of sat down and I'd weigh it out, I would say, well, what are they gonna do to me? Send me back there and let me go out every day, and work? What's that? That ain't nothing. I ain't learning no lesson. But once you see people in your life that you really love, and you start losing them while you're in these places, and you ain't got no, and as you get older and you realize you ain't got nobody, you don't want to be that person. You don't want to feel that shit. So just think before you do it. And jail ain't no place to be, even though we get Baconators every other Friday.
What's your plan for when you get out?
Me, I'd like to try to help people. I swear I would. I mean, I just don't want to come. I'm not going to come back. I'm not going to come back. I'm almost 50. It ain't like I'm ever, no matter what I do, and I know this in life, no matter what I do from here on out, shit, as hard as I've been on myself, I ain't got much longer left, you know what I mean? It ain't ever like I'm gonna be rich. I'm almost famous right now, though.
You're already helping people today just by sharing your story. There's
I
a
hope
power
so.
in
I
that.
really do. I hope so. I ain't lying very bit. But people just think before they do this shit and stay away from that fucking fentanyl and shit. Drugs ain't nothing. I mean, you're gonna do what you're gonna do and you're gonna learn, but if you just see what it's done to people, it's not cool, not one bit. And like I said before, I try to step back and I try to think about having fun. And I gotta think way back to when I was a little bitty kid to think of any time that I had fun, the fun that I call fun, you know, and shit that I done, that I wasn't high, you know. But there ain't no future in it. Like I said, you don't wanna be this guy doing a podcast with Nathan Carter standing over my shoulder.
Best security in town, man.
That's it.
What? You got a baconator out of it?
Yeah. Next week.
Oh, no, it's not this Friday?
No.
Oh, man. Well, I know you have a small bladder, so I'll let you go.
Alright, and was my hour up?
It was a pleasure talking to you, man.
You too.
I'll get your information from Jessica, and we'll put that in the description of the episode if anyone wants to reach out.
I hope I lived up to all the hype.
Yeah, you definitely did, man. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we got to talk to you
Thank
today. You are our first, currently incarcerated person ever on the show.
Damn, I am famous now.
Yeah, you would.
All 42 people watching.
Well, that's just the live, but the actual episode when it comes out will reach a lot of people, and I appreciate it, man. And we appreciate Nate for making this happen, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome.
Listen,
Appreciate
you
you,
killed it. You're fixing to go viral. You know, listen, it's like, oh, you got 60 days in, you don't know the difference. Cool.
I ain't doing 60.
You did it all. You listen, you don't know them. Just be like, listen, guys, I don't know.
Nah, I ain't telling them. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry.
I was like, that's that guy from that
You
podcast.
did great.
Thank you.
Here, let's take a picture with him. Okay. Ian,
Yeah.
let's get a picture with the famous Rooster. At least you're going to get out, straighten up, and live up to your house.
What are you talking about?
Outside. That's good.
I gotta hang on to
He
your
said
shirt.
my dad
You
thought
come
me
right
like
over
a
here.
chicken.
I gotta stand by
I
you.
gotta hang on to your shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, Ian's got a lot of money in his right pocket if you need anything. Nice. Perfect.
Man, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Rooster.
Your honesty was
appreciate
just,
you, man.
I'm telling you, that was good, honey. You
Hey, good job, man.
a lot of
Y'all have
big-
safe trips.
Nice to meet you, man. Good luck with everything.
Ain't no rush.
I'm going to.
I'll be in there Wednesday and see you all.
All right.
Listen,
You stand like that, you walk out,
Yeah.
you know how to get out?
here's the button.
Okay.
You want
Yeah,
to
I can
vote?
take you.
I had a couple.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, we're gonna make sure he's taken care of. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to the crew over here.
Hey!
What a fun time in Kentucky. And stay tuned for these episodes to drop. Mr. Based one coming on Sunday. And we'll talk to y'all soon.